For tonight's game, the referee is Dennis Morrell. The linesman will be Ryan Bozak along with Jim Christensen. And in goal for the Chicago Blackhawks, rookie Darren Pang, only 5'5". He is 17-20-1. That's his record, and a goals against of 3.70. And at the other end, another rookie, 25-year-old Glenn Healy, 10 wins, 18 losses, and 1 tie, a shutout, and an average of 4.36. Melanson had started the last 6 straight for the Kings, so it's been a while since we've seen Glenn Healy. But Healy and the playoff-bound Kings will defend to our right here in the first period as Robbie Ftorek and Brian Maxwell can chuckle a little bit right now because they know that they're going to play postseason action with the Calgary Flames.
So that's a luxury the Kings have not had lately. That is to come into a game they should be loose now, as they have clinched that playoff spot, as Calgary has won, and now off the face-off, the Kings with it. And here is Baumgartner driving it at Darren Pang, and he knocks it down. Puck is picked up by the Blackhawks, can't clear it. Left point, here's Robitaille, tipped away from him, but now still in the Chicago zone and taken to center as Trent Yawney passes up ahead to Savard, broken up by the Kings. Here's Robitaille with it now. Here's Robitaille to the red line. Robitaille gives it over to Laidlaw. Here's Laidlaw for the Kings at center ice to Bob Bourne. Bourne left side shooting, saved by Pang, and he dropped the puck behind him and he fell on it, and he hangs on for the face-off. Pang dropped the puck, and it just didn't have enough on it to get inside the goalpost, but Bourne let fly from the left point.
Well, that's twice now in the early going the Kings have hit the blue line and just unloaded on Darren Pang, so obviously they want to get some shots on net early here, drive for the net, and try and pick up a couple of rebounds. Bob Bourne with just a quick snapshot. It handcuffed Pang, but he was able to recover. It looked like the puck was going to deflect wide to the right. Darren Pang, a colorful goaltender. He's got a colorful mask. He's only 5'5", 155, but he likes to make himself visible.
Now the left point shot from there is deflected wide as Eric Germain, a newcomer just up from New Haven, got the shot, but it was deflected, and the Hawks drive it all the way down in the Kings zone. Germain will touch it, and we have an icing call against Chicago. So the Kings have the only 2 shots of the game, but we're still scoreless, and no stranger to this building behind the Chicago bench, a former King defenseman, Bob Murdoch.
Well, he was an assistant for 5 years under Bob Johnson at Calgary before moving on to Chicago. And Bob Murdoch, 41 years old, has had an up-and-down first season in Chicago. The Blackhawks have been either really hot or really cold. They're in a cold spell as they enter tonight's game. They've lost 4 straight, outscored 16-8 in that span.
Face off to the left of Darren Pang, the Chicago goaltender, and he is a big favorite in Chicago. Fans there almost boo every time it's announced that Bob Mason will be in goal rather than Darren Pang. Blackhawks within their own zone. They're moving left to right as you watch us on radio, or watch us on TV and listen on radio. Puck driven all the way down in the Kings zone, out of the reach of Santa Pass. Comes around to the blue line. Ben Wilson shooting wide. Rebound behind the net. Wayne Presley for Chicago. He and Santa Pass get tangled up. Puck comes out to Craig Laughlin. He gets it out to center for the Kings. Chased down by Fenton, but tipped away from him. Game just underway here at the Forum. Bob Miller along with Nick Nixon. No score first period. Here's Troy Murray. He lost it now to Carpenter, and the Kings have it at their own blue line. Up to center ice, here's Steve Duchesne. Duchesne ahead to Carpenter. Carpenter shoots over the net. He hesitated, then got the shot off, and it caroms off the boards past Duchesne, back down into the Kings zone. 18:28 left to go here in the first period. No score. Puck is in front of the Chicago bench and taken there by Dirk Graham. He's been a good acquisition for them. They got him from Minnesota. Puck taken away by Jimmy Carson. Carson across the line with Contos. Carson shooting, and a save by Pang. Carson from the top of the left circle with a shot. Puck is in the left wing boards. Chicago digs it out, and here they come to center ice. Here's McGill giving it to Noonan. Brian Noonan across the line. Dropped it for Dirk Graham. Back to Noonan. Goes behind the King net. Comes around the left side. Noonan still with it. Dropped it off in deep for Graham. Tipped away by Laidlaw. Kings with it. No score first period. Laidlaw in the corner. Can't clear it. McGill tried to send it in front, and Graham gets knocked down. He shot it wide. Puck taken by Noonan for Chicago. Noonan lost it behind the net as Dave Taylor took it away. Here's Taylor up to center for the Kings. Taylor to the red line. He drives it into the Chicago zone, and Darren Pang out behind the net. Cut it off, then lost it. Hard check thrown in deep behind the Chicago net as Carson got knocked down. He gets up. The puck taken by the Blackhawks. Carson going to come off the ice. Chicago with it down across the line. Steve Duchesne breaks it up. Chicago starting to throw their weight around now as Dwayne Sutter throws a check. Now Santa pass in the corner. Kings dig it out, and it's cleared out to center by Steve Duchesne. Now picked up by Duchesne across the line. Tried to give it to Duguay, broken up. Now in front, shot is deflected wide. Right in the slot, Lyle Fair had a shot. Puck is picked up by Ron Duguay, Chicago zone. Duguay, right wing corner. Duguay still with it to the blue line, to Baumgartner. He shoots, score! Kenny Baumgartner got the puck from Ron Duguay, who was in the corner, and on his backhand, Duguay got it to Baumgartner, and he drove it past Darren Pang, and the Kings lead 1-0.
Ron Duguay did all the work down low. Two Blackhawks followed him to the left boards, but he spotted Baumgartner open.
Kings have had all 4 shots in the game. Chicago without a shot yet. Kings ahead 1-0. Here's Dennis Savard for Chicago across the King line. He passes in deep to Larmer. He shoots, and a save made by the goaltender Healy as he knocked it down, and the Kings have a 1-0 lead. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
You know, when you're on the road, you need to pay attention to the signs. But if you're a new car shopper, these are the signs it pays to look for. Because the Southern California Chevrolet Dealer Association's $10,000 every 10-day sweepstakes could be your ticket to winning $10,000. Now, there's a winner every 10 days. To enter, you just see your participating dealer and you test drive any new Chevy, car, truck, or van. Now, there's no obligation and there's nothing to buy. So look for these signs where you see this sign.
Kings are up 1-0, but the Blackhawks with their first good opportunity before we broke. Savard, a nice move, stopped up, fed it to Larmer on the right side, who moved in for a backhander that Healy had trouble with. He juggled, but pinned it against his body with his right arm. That was the first real good scoring chance for Chicago. Baumgartner from Duguay, 1-0 Kings.
Now Ben Wilson, right point shooting. It's deflected in front. Rebound saved by Healy. Nice save on the rebound by Larmer. Chicago tries to hold it in. They can't. Kings with it. Here's Robitaille passing to center to Bourne. Chicago's own. Bourne shoots. Saved by Pang. Seems to be fighting the puck a little bit, Nick. That one deflected off of him into the corner. Puck taken by the Chicago Blackhawks now on the right side. It is cleared by Rick Vibe all the way down into the King zone and in to get it late long. We have an icing call against Chicago. 15:59 left to go here in the first period, with the Kings ahead 1-0.
Well, Glenn Healy is the starting goaltender for the Kings. He hasn't seen a lot of action lately. Before tonight, Melanson had started 8 of 9, including the last 6 in a row. Healy earlier this season defeated the Blackhawks, so he is 1-0, career mark. Gave up 4 goals in that game as the Kings won here in Los Angeles 6-4. And Healy was tested by Larmer, a pretty good sniper on that last shift.
Carpenter wins the draw to Denny LaRocque. He shoots, and a save by Darren Pang after the face-off in the Chicago zone. Blackhawks clear it up to center ice. Here's Troy Murray trying to get around Duchesne. Duchesne ties him up. They go into the corner, King zone. Duchesne knocked down to one knee. Puck comes loose over to Craig Laughlin. Laughlin for the Kings. Cleared it out to center ice. Bobby Carpenter chased it down, tipped away by Gary Nyland. Back into the King zone. Kings have outshot Chicago 6-2 here early in the first period, and the Kings have a 1-0 lead. The Kings have already clinched a playoff spot because Vancouver lost tonight. Here's Carpenter down the middle alone. He shoots. Saved by Pang. What a rush by Bobby Carpenter. Puck taken behind the Chicago net, but it rolls away from Fenton. Now on the left wing boards, Fenton with it again. Sends it behind the net. Here is Laughlin coming out in front. He gives it to LaRocque. To Fenton. Backhander. Saved by Pang. And the Blackhawks clear it. The Kings have come out storming, but what a rush by Bobby Carpenter, Nick. And he went in all alone, and Pang made the save. Icing called against Chicago. 1-0 Kings. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
I'll get it, Alex.
Mel's Market. Here's your order.
What order?
Side of beef.
I didn't order.
Here's your delivery, sir.
What delivery?
Your Stroh's 30 packs.
Stroh's. Alex?
Nah. Stroh's and Stroh Light. Fire brewed for smooth, consistent taste. And with 30 packs, you get more beer.
Pardon? Pierre Pet Shop. Here's your poodle.
Oh, Alex.
An exciting rush by center Bobby Carpenter through center ice, and things opened up in the middle, and with his speed and his quickness, you can't give Carpenter that much room, and a great poke check by Pang to prevent Carpenter from making that deke work.
Face-off in the Chicago zone to the left of Darren Pang. Kings ahead 1-0. Here's Laidlaw on the right side. Laidlaw's pass taken by Taylor. Taylor, top of the slot, spin, shoots, and a stick save by Pang. Puck comes against the boards, right wing side. Hawks clear it out to center. Chased down into the Kings zone by Laidlaw. 1-0 Kings lead. Now here's Chris Kontos. Kontos, Taylor, and Jimmy Carson up front for the Kings. Puck is driven by the Blackhawks' Keith Brown back into the Kings zone. Pass up ahead to Taylor. Taylor for the Kings on the right wing, comes to the Chicago line. He dropped it for Carson. Right side, he shoots. He hit the goal post. Jimmy Carson inches away from his 49th goal. Hit the goal post on the left side. Puck is still in the Chicago zone. Here is Kontos in front to Taylor. Taylor against the left wing boards. Taylor pass in front, tipped away to the blue line, and Laidlaw holds it in. He gets it to Jimmy Carson. Carson on the right wing. Carson tied up, moves in deep. His pass in deep goes behind the net. Comes around the left side. Kontos going for there. He gets checked, but he holds it in. He gets it in front to Taylor. Taylor to Carson. Can't get a shot. Yes, he scores! Jimmy Carson! His 49th of the year, and I didn't think he was going to get it. Looked like he got stopped on the right side of the net, but then he got the puck again and just tucked it in. As Taylor came into the slot, he had Carson on the right side. Jimmy had it, lost it, got it again, and banked it in off the goaltender Pang, who was down in the crease, and the Kings lead 2-0.
Good work by Taylor and Kontos as the Kings put the pressure on. The goal at 6:04, Carson's 49th. So the Kings are up 2-0. They are dominating Chicago here in the first 6 minutes.
Kings have outshot the Blackhawks 9-2. So Carson, after losing a great opportunity at first, just got the puck and banked it in off the goaltender Pang. Now here comes Savard to center. As he goes, so go the Blackhawks. If he has a good game, they'll be in it. If not, they won't be, and they came up flat at home last Sunday night when they had a chance to tie St. Louis for second in the Norris division. Puck is taken by the Kings in their own zone. Here is Duchesne. The Kings have already clinched a playoff spot, but they have come out flying here in the first period. Puck comes back into the Kings zone and chased in by Duchesne. Kings have Mike Allison up front with Robitaille and Bourne. Now the loose puck taken by the Kings and sent up the center by Germain to Bourne. Bourne across the line. Offside go the Kings. They had a 3-on-2 rush working there, but an offside at the Chicago blue line. 13:03 to go first period. 2-0 Kings.
Well, we talk about Dennis Savard. Now we have an altercation to the left of the Chicago bench. It is Manson and Allison, I believe.
Yeah, that's right. It's Mike Allison of the Kings and Dave Manson of Chicago. And Manson getting in a few rights and now has tried to tie up Allison. And another right by Manson. Allison's helmet has been knocked off. The whistle had blown. Now more rights by Manson. And he knocks Allison down in a clear-cut decision for Dave Manson, the Chicago defenseman, in that scrap with Mike Allison.
Well, I didn't see how it started. We had the whistle on the offsides, and we waited about 5 or 6 seconds, and all of a sudden, right to the left of the Chicago bench, Manson, a tough defenseman, and Allison, center iceman, dropped the gloves. 2-0 Kings. We'll be back. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
You know, without the right help, finding your dream house can be confusing and frustrating. Well, that's where a real estate broker comes in, because brokers know what's available, and they can match you up with just the right house. They can help you save money negotiating the price, too. They'll even help you find affordable financing. And Great Western works with brokers on home loans every day. Together, Great Western and your real estate broker can get you home fast.
Mike Allison in the penalty box for the Kings. He gets 5 minutes for fighting. The penalties are at 6:57. And for the Chicago Blackhawks, defenseman Dave Manson in his second year from the Western Hockey League. Blackhawks first-round pick in 1985.
Play underway again. Here is Dwayne Sutter for Chicago. His pass to Everett Santa taken away. Duguay with it for the Kings. Flips it into the Chicago zone. 12:48 to go in the first period. Bob Miller with Nick Nixon. Kings ahead 2-0. Out shooting Chicago 10-2. Keith Brown, who has come back off an injury, drives it into the King zone for the Blackhawks. In the corner, here's Dwayne Sutter. Goes behind the King net, tried to come in front. He gets a backhander and he scores! Everett Santa may have tipped it in. So on Chicago's third shot of the night, they score as Dwayne Sutter brought it behind the net and got it to Everett Santa stationed in front, and he appeared to get his stick on it to tip it in. Duguay looked like he had Sutter wrapped up. Santa in front. I don't know if he touched it or not. He was set up in front of the net, but the Blackhawks are on the board.
Kings up 2-1. Laidlaw was trying to tie up Santa. It may have gone off of Laidlaw or Larocque, who also cut across to help out, but it definitely changed directions. No chance for Glenn Healy with all that traffic in front. The goal at 7:26, and we'll wait for the official call, but the Blackhawks get a goal back. 2-1 Kings.
Faceoff will be out at center ice right now after the whistle with 12:28 to go in the first period.
Hard work by Sutter as he rambled behind the net. Laidlaw was going to chase, but he stayed out in front to tie up Santa. And now we're going to get the official call. They're giving it to Troy Murray. Well, I didn't see him in front, but Troy Murray with the goal.
Santa and Sutter with the assist. Puck is in the King zone, cleared back out to center, and Bob McGill of Chicago drives it right back in. Chased in by Duchesne. 2-1 Kings lead. Duchesne to Baumgartner. Baumgartner's pass up on the right side. Kings start to come to center ice. They're moving from our right to our left. Here's Lyle Fair to Duguay. Duguay came to the line and then dropped it back out to center, and the Kings are offside on the play.
Well, the Kings are hesitating on a couple of these rushes up ice. Not sure, the puck carrier, not sure what they want to do. Not sure what their forwards are doing out there. They're trying to make a play just as they hit the blue line, and when they hold up, well, things are going offside. Now, Troy Murray wears number 19 for Chicago, and on our simulcast, let's see if we can find where Troy Murray is. Well, I don't see him.
He's on the bench.
Yeah, was he on the ice? That's a great goal for Troy Murray to score. They don't come any easier than that.
So I'm sure they'll change that and give it to Santa, I think. Puck comes all the way back down now into the King zone, chased down by Laidlaw. He drives it out to center ice, back into the Chicago zone, chased by Ben Wilson in. There'll be no icing. Wilson in to get it. He plays it around the boards to Rick Vibe. Here's Vibe, gave it away. Puck is held in by the Kings. A shot, stick save made by Pang. Nice centering pass came to Fenton as Lachlan got it against the left wing boards and got it to Fenton. Now Lachlan again to Fenton. He shoots, and it's deflected up off the glass. Puck comes to the right side to Laidlaw. Laidlaw shooting wide. Rebound behind the net. Fenton with it. He gets pushed and knocked down. Here is Germain with a shot and a stick save by Pang. Now back to center come the Blackhawks, 3-on-3. Across the line, Murray's pass, Savard's pass taken away and cleared to center by Germain. Now on the right side, Contos. He shoots, saved by Pang. Darren Pang's been a busy goaltender. Kings with it again. Carson up the middle to Duchesne, spinning, shooting wide to the left side. Just missed the lower left-hand corner as Duchesne was spinning at the top of the slot. Puck taken by the Kings again. Denny Larocque off on the right side. Contos dropped it back to Duchesne. He shoots, save, rebound, score! Dave Taylor. The Kings are driving for the net tonight, and it's paying off. That time, Dave Taylor coming in from the right side. Got the rebound as Carson gave it to Contos to Duchesne. Duchesne got a shot from the top of the slot, and when the rebound came up the middle, there was Dave Taylor right there in front of the net to put it in. 3-1 Kings lead.
Well, the Kings are allowed to get these shots, Bob, and shoot away from the point because the forwards of the Blackhawks just are not to be found in the Chicago half of center ice. They're doing absolutely no help to Chicago's defensive goaltender.
Now a long pass into the Chicago zone, and Taylor going in. It'll be a two-line pass if he touches it, and he does with 10:09 to go in the first period. 3-1 Kings, and we'll be right back. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
Okay, Alex will now do his famous dog impersonations. Grab a stroll light, relax. Ready, Alex? All right, who's this?
Rin Tin Tin.
Exaggerator.
Look at this. Look at this. Trim. My 3 sons.
Right. This is my favorite.
Benji. Oh, I don't know how he does it.
It's amazing.
Stro Light, fire brewed for smooth, consistent taste.
Here he comes. What? Who's that supposed to be?
Beats me.
Chicago Blackhawks have given up a lot of shots on goal this year. They've already allowed 16 to the Kings, and we haven't even played half of the first period. 9:51, they've allowed that many shots. How many games this year do you look in the paper and see Chicago allowing 50, 48, 52? They're just not a good defensive team.
Puck comes all the way down into the Chicago zone, and Darren Pang plays it around to Bob McGill. Chicago's playoff opponent is already decided, and we're going to get a penalty here behind the play. 9:52 to go in the first period. 3-1 Kings. Let's pause for station identification. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
Divisional rivals fight it out on Prime Ticket tomorrow as the Lasers host the San Diego Sockers in an important MISL battle. Join us for all the action tomorrow on Prime Ticket at 5:45.
Dan Vincelette is going to get the penalty for interfering with Lyle Fair. Looked like a harmless play as it developed, but Vincelette, after Fair got knocked into the boards, just prevented Fair from getting back in the action. So the Kings go on the power play with a 3-1 lead on goals by Baumgartner, Carson, and Taylor. Kings power play is 11th, penalty killing. The Blackhawks are 9th. And as far as power play leaders for the Kings, Carson 19, Robitaille 15.
Blackhawks with it now right in front of their own bench. Here is Ben Wilson, drives it off the boards back down into the Kings zone. I started to say that Chicago's playoff opponent has already been decided. They're going to play the St. Louis Blues, but they could still get home ice, Nick, if they could start playing decently. They could still get second place, but you wouldn't know it by the way Chicago has started this game. Puck comes in behind the Chicago net. Here's Taylor with it for the Kings. Taylor bumped there, double teamed. His pass in the corner, broken up and not cleared. Duchesne holds it in. Duchesne at the blue line, gets it to Contos. Contos for the Kings. Up the middle to Duchesne. Right side, Robitaille front. Carson shooting just wide. In front, Carson again couldn't get to it. Duchesne shooting. Blocked by the Hawks, and a Hawk is injured. Chicago clears it to center and down into the Kings zone.
Nyland slow in getting up, but he is up and coming over to the bench.
Jimmy Carson right in the slot looking for his 50th goal and appeared to shoot it wide. Now Dennis Savard is pulled down as he tried to step around Duchesne and holding the call against Steve Duchesne. You got to watch that guy, Savard. Boy, he's got some moves, and he put one on Duchesne that time, and Steve reached out and grabbed him, and Duchesne goes to the penalty box.
Especially if he's in a one-on-one situation with a lot of ice. He controls the bouncing puck. He fed it past Duchesne and tried to step around him. Duchesne, you could tell on our simulcast, was looking down at the puck, and he forgot about Savard for that split second, and Savard went outside in on Duchesne, and that's why he had to half a step, and Duchesne had to take the penalty. So holding the call on Steve Duchesne here at the 11:08 mark of period number 1. So both clubs will be shy of Skater for exactly a minute. The third King goal, Taylor's 26th at 9:25. The assists to Duchesne and Chris Contos. So Contos now with 5 points since joining the Kings 3 games ago.
Both teams a man shy as the faceoff will be to the right of Glenn Healy for the Kings, and the Blackhawks win the draw at the right point. Shot by Ben Wilson way wide. Rebound off the boards, goes behind the net. Kings will pick it up. It's sent up the left side by the rookie Eric Germain ahead to Bobby Carpenter. 2-on-2. Carpenter, Chicago zone, right side. He shoots over the net. Rebound off the glass. Comes against the left wing side. Kings trying to hold it in. It's thrown in deep now by Craig Laughlin, but the Blackhawks take over. Germain and Laidlaw back, a veteran and a rookie back in defense for the Kings. Puck comes down in deep into the Kings zone. Brian Noonan, left wing side. He's out of the Boston area. He gives it to Ben Wilson. Wilson, formerly with Philadelphia, goes behind the net. Had it tipped away from him now by Laughlin. Puck comes over to Eric Germain. Germain for the Kings, clears it up ahead to Carpenter. Carpenter, left side, looking for a goal as he comes across the line as the team is still a man shy. Both teams a man shy. Started to say looking for a short-hander, but that'll be in 3 seconds when the Blackhawks have the power play, and they do right now. Chicago with a power play for 58 seconds now, trailing 3-1. Blackhawks with it. Puck driven down into the Kings zone. Right side, Rick Vide driving for it, tipped away from him and back out to center ice. King penalty killers, Paul Fenton up front along with Bob Bourne. And they've got Baumgartner back on defense along with Denis Larocque. So 2 rookies back on defense for the Kings on this penalty killing unit. Here's Dennis Savard for Chicago. Savard on the left side. Chicago has set a club record for power play goals in his season with 93. At the blue line, Trent Yawney off the Canadian Olympic team. Now a pass in deep to Vive. He couldn't steer it around Healy, who tipped it away, and now it comes around the left side to Savard. Here's Dennis Savard spinning against the left wing boards on the power play. They've got 10 seconds left to work on it. To the blue line, taken by Yawney to the right point to Keith Brown. He shoots, saved by Healy, and he covers up. He had Rick Vive standing right in front of him, and Healy knocked it down and then looked to his left, and there it was, just outside the goalpost, and Healy covered it up.
Well, down low, they've got players like Savard and Vive to look for, and at the point, Brown who can unload them. Of course, they really missed Doug Wilson in the second half. He's out injured, but Healy, with traffic in front, it was Rick Vive trying for the deflection or the knockdown, and Healy made the save, juggled, but held on. 4 seconds left on the penalty to Steve Duchesne, with the Kings up 3-1. Glenn Healy, rookie goaltender, 25 years old, with 10 victories this season, including 1 against the Chicago Blackhawks.
Face-off in the King zone to the left of Healy. Only 4 seconds left in the penalty to Duchesne. 3-1 Kings lead. 6:56 to go here in the first period. King goals, Baumgartner, Carson, and Taylor. Hawks with it. From the blue line, a shot deflected wide as Mark Bergevin got the shot. Kings are back at full strength. Here's Everett Santa pass for Chicago, but his pass taken away and cleared to center. Mark Bergevin back to get it. Kings are back at full strength. 6:40 to go in the first period. Bob Miller along with Nick Nixon. Kings have come out storming tonight. Taylor to Conto, Chicago's own. Conto shooting, and a save by Pang. Nice stick save by Pang as Conto shot from the right circle. Puck comes all the way back into the King zone. Eric Germain keeps his balance and clears it out to center ice. Here's Bergevin with it. Sending it over on the left side, and Troy Murray drives it into the King zone. Comes to Wayne Presley, right wing side. Now down in deep. Bergevin is taken away by the Kings and cleared by Germain up on the right side. Here's Taylor. Taylor comes to the Chicago line. Steps in deep. Stepped right around Bob McGill. Taylor sent it behind the Chicago net, but it'll be intercepted by Troy Murray. Murray for the Blackhawks. Tried to clear it. Couldn't do it. Robitaille to Carson, but all the Kings were coming back, getting on defense, and Carson's pass taken away, and Wayne Presley drives it into the King zone, and we have an icing call against Chicago. 5:47 to go first period. Kings ahead 3-1, and the Kings have already clinched a playoff spot. That means that playoff tickets will be on sale tomorrow. That's the playoff strip tickets for all 16 possible playoff games, and individual tickets for the first 2 home playoff games go on sale tomorrow morning 10 a.m. at the Forum box office. Individual game tickets are also available at Ticketmaster outlets, so you can get playoff tickets tomorrow. Playoff games here at home Saturday, Sunday, April 9th and 10th against the Calgary Flames, the best team in the NHL. Puck taken by Bob Bourne. His shot steered wide. Puck comes along the boards in the Blackhawk zone. Baumgartner holds it in, tried to get it to Bourne. Broken up by Chicago's Brian Noonan. Kings ahead 3-1. Here's a shot by Dan Vincelette, and it's deflected up into the crowd. 3-1 Kings. We'll be right back. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
Kings Hockey is brought to you by Great Western's family of companies, over $28 billion in assets. 100 years strong, we'll always be there. By Avis, who invites you to go in style with a new Cadillac or similar luxury car for only $45 a day. By Stroh's and Stroh-Lite. Now you're talking good times, and Stroh's is spoken here. And by your Southern California Chevrolet Dealers Association, home of the $10,000 every 10 days test drive sweepstakes. No obligation, nothing to buy. To enter, just test drive any new Chevy at a participating dealer.
Play just underway in the King zone. Duchesne takes a hard hit against the boards from Brian Noonan, but Duchesne is all right. He's up again as the puck comes down into the Chicago zone. 5:08 to go in the first period. Kings ahead 3-1. Blackhawks come to center ice now as the puck taken across the line by Dirk Graham. He dropped it back, and a shot is steered away by Healy. The shot by Dan Vincelette. In front along, Noonan shoots, saved by Healy. Noonan was all alone in front of the King net, and Healy stayed with him and made the save, and the puck comes to center ice. I don't know who was surprised the most, Nick, Noonan or Healy. All of a sudden, there was Noonan in front with not a King near him, and Healy stayed right with him to make the save. Kings come to center ice, left wing side, across the line now. Craig Duncanson to Duguay. His shot blocked. Duguay with it again. His shot wide. Steered into the corner by the goaltender Pang. Duguay pulled off the puck by Keith Brown, and the Blackhawks will try to bring it out. 4:15 to go in the first period. Kings ahead 3-1. Pass up to center ice. Blackhawks with it, but behind the play now, we've got Manson
and Duncanson.
And Duncanson going to get into a scrap. Manson handled Allison the last time he went, and now throws it right, and down to the ice goes Duncanson, and they're going to separate him right away. So Dave Manson, 6'2", 190, has fared pretty well in 2 battles here in the first period.
He took on Mike Allison at 6:57, and now he takes on the just recalled Craig Duncanson. They'll get at least 5 for fighting. With 4:09 left in the period, they'll both go to their respective dressing rooms. Duncanson and Dave Manson, we mentioned earlier, Manson in his second year. Duncanson, a first-round draft choice by the Kings back in 1985, 9th overall. His 4th stint with the Kings. He had no points in 8 games earlier this year. And Bob Murdoch and Wayne Thomas, 2 of the 3 coaches for the Blackhawks, looking on in wonderment. Well, Glenn Healy comes up with his biggest save of the period moments before that scuffle. All alone in front, center Brian Noonan. Noonan had time. He faked the shot, deked to the backhand, but Healy, lunging to his right, got his blocker on it. And then Noonan gobbled up his own rebound and centered, but it didn't click to anybody in front. So a big save by Glenn Healy, who's only faced 6 shots from Chicago here in the game thus far.
1 home game left in the regular season. Next Wednesday night, the Calgary Flames will be here. That's the team the Kings will meet in the playoffs. That's Fan Appreciation Night. Everyone attending the game next Wednesday receives a Kings team picture, as we have an offside called here against Chicago. First 10,000 fans in attendance next Wednesday receive a Kings pin, and prizes will also be handed out.
Well, Dennis Savard really hasn't been a force yet, but certainly he has in many games this year, having his best season ever in the National Hockey League. Has surpassed his totals since joining the NHL 8 seasons ago. He's got well over 100 points this year, 123, including 80 assists. He's 3rd in the league in scoring points to Mario Lemieux and Wayne Gretzky. So Dennis Savard, who's led the club in scoring for 7 seasons now, has had another brilliant season.
Now the puck up at center ice. Here's Bobby Carpenter on the left wing into the Chicago zone. Carpenter tried to throw it in front, but it's tipped away. Trying to get it to Lachlan. Blackhawks come back with it. Here's Rick Vive, 42 goals on the year. He pulls it in deep, and in front of the net he gets knocked down, and the Kings will be able to clear it. Vive pulled it around Baumgartner, but then got checked, and he's injured.
Yeah, he fell over not only the goaltender, but I think Tom Laidlaw. Vive put a nice move on as he tried to work with it at the top of the right circle. Veteran right winger Rick Vive. He got the puck at center, moved down the right wing, and put it between the skates of Kenny Baumgartner. Lost his balance, went sliding into goaltender Glenn Healy with Paul Fenton draped over top. So I don't know how he got hurt, whether it was Fenton falling on him or Vive colliding into Glenn Healy. It looked like Fenton clipped Vive on the back of the helmet with his stick as Fenton fell on top of the veteran right winger, but he is up and now skating off under his own power. Rick Vive came over right before this season started in that multiplayer deal with the Toronto Maple Leafs.
42 goals this season, and Harold Ballard will rue the day that he ever said Vive is washed up. We really picked Chicago's pocket on that deal.
Well, it shows in the standings.
Yeah, sure does. You don't think the Leafs could use a guy like that, could you? Face-off out at center ice. The Kings have already clinched a playoff spot because Vancouver lost earlier tonight at Calgary. So the Kings are going to play Calgary in the playoffs, and the Flames with the best record in the NHL. Kings with it. Here's Jimmy Carson. He's got a goal tonight. He gives it to Taylor. To Carson. Right wing to Taylor in front, but off his stick. Taylor chases it left wing side up the middle. In front, Duchesne shooting, and it's tipped wide. Out to the right side. Germain holds it in. His pass taken away. Blackhawks with it. The Kings have a 3-1 lead here in the first period. Both teams at full strength. Kings have outshot Chicago 17-6. Puck is just inside the Chicago line, and the Blackhawks control it. Here's Bob McGill. He sends it to Bergevin, up to center ice to Troy Murray now. Murray fires it into the King zone, and Bob Bourne back to get it. Bourne in deep, plays it around the boards, over on the left wing side to Luke Robitaille. Luke clears it out to center in front of the King bench, taken away by Ben Wilson. 2:42 to go in the first period. 3-1 King. Puck is tipped into the King zone. Germain breaks it up, but gives it away at center ice to Ben Wilson. Chicago with it. Here's Dirk Graham of the red line. He drives it down the right side to Dan Vincelette. Vincelette behind the net, checked by Germain. Now over to Noonan. Noonan tied up in the corner by Robitaille of the Kings. Puck is in the left wing corner, King zone. Now Germain stays with his man, and Duchesne clears it to center. Now the Blackhawks with it again. Here's Dirk Graham. He drives it back into the King zone. Here's Dan Vincelette bumping into Robitaille. Vincelette with it. Robitaille took it away. Now Robitaille checked from behind by Dirk Graham. The puck is knocked down and taken by the Kings. Steve Duchesne. Duchesne to center with 2 minutes to go in the first period. 3-1 Kings. Here's Robitaille driving in deep. Robitaille bumped hard into the boards by Gary Nyland, and the Hawks clear it to center. Puck taken there and driven by Denny LaRocque of the Kings back into the Chicago zone. 1:45 to go, first period. 3-1 Kings. Puck sent by the Hawks into the King zone and back to get it. Laidlaw around now to Lyle Fair. Fair's pass up the left side to Carpenter. Here's Bobby Carpenter to Duguay. Duguay to Carpenter. Chicago zone. Carpenter right side. He shoots. Saved by Pang. Carpenter's really flying tonight, Nick. Puck taken by the Hawks, but poked away by Lyle Fair. But Chicago gets back again. Up to center ice now. Blackhawks with it. Here's Steve Larmer. Right side pass in front. Save made by Healy as Savard tipped it toward the net. A nice give and go, and Healy made the save. 1:08 left to go. First period. Chicago with it. Shot by Larmer. Glove save by Healy, and he hangs on. Steve Larmer with a blast from the top of the left circle, and Glenn Healy, he's been sharp in this first period, and he makes the save there. But moments before, he made a nice save as Savard came right down the middle and redirected the shot, and Healy made the stick save. Then it came to Steve Larmer on the left wing side, top of the circle, and he had room, and the glove save by Healy as Larmer was trying for the long side. 1:03 to go here in the first period. Kings 3, Blackhawks 1. Kings are in the playoffs. They'll open on the road on the 6th and 7th of April. Be here at home against Calgary on Saturday the 9th and Sunday the 10th of April. And as we have told you, tickets go on sale tomorrow. Forum Box Office and Ticketmaster. Kings with a long pass breakaway. Jimmy Carson looking for his 50th. He shoots. He scores. There it is. His 50th goal. Jimmy Carson on a breakaway. Only the second U.S.-born player to score 50 goals in a year. The second teenager ever to score 50. The second youngest player ever to score 50. Only Gretzky did it earlier. And a standing ovation for Jimmy Carson. The Kings lead 4-1. Steve Duchesne gave him the perfect pass. There was no doubt about that one. A breakaway for Carson. He's got 2 goals, 50 on the year. 1905, the time of the goal. 98 points. He's trying to become only the second U.S.-born player to get 100 points. He may do that tonight. Kings ahead 4-1. 22 seconds left to go here in the first period. And the puck whistle dead now in the King zone. A clean breakaway, and it couldn't have been any prettier for the 50th goal for Jimmy Carson, 19 years old. Contos on the draw to Duchesne, who sent it right up the middle to Carson. He took it just on the King side of the red line, went in all alone, and he just drove it past Darren Pang. Conto should get an assist. They didn't announce it. Carson took his time, and right in the slot, he beat Pang to the stick side. Penalty to Chicago. Dwayne Sutter, 2 minutes for roughing. Well, a great thrill for Jimmy Carson, the Kings, and all their fans here tonight. Sutter goes for roughing for Chicago at 1941. They should add an assist to Chris Contos, and they are right now. Carson is 50th from Duchesne and Contos. Contos won the draw. Duchesne with a perfect pass, and Jimmy Carson was just streaking up toward center ice. 16 seconds to go in the first period, and boy, have the Kings come out smoking here tonight. They lead 4-1 now with 9 seconds to go in the period. Kings have the power play. Pass up to center ice. Here's Carson, but it hopped over his stick. Now it comes back into the Kings zone, and time runs out. And what a period. And the roar of the crowd echoes in the Kings' ears as they skate off the ice at the end of the first period here. In the first period, Kenny Baumgartner got it started for the Kings. His second goal, second ever in the NHL at 3:13 from Ron Duguay. Then Jimmy Carson got his 49th of the year from Taylor and Contos at 6:04. Then they say Troy Murray for Chicago, but I think they're going to change it to Santa Pass, and Daryl Sutter at 7:26 for Chicago. Then Taylor with his 26th from Duchesne and Contos at 9:25. And then Carson on the breakaway, second of the period, 50th of the year from Duchesne and Contos at 19:05. Coming up in 2 minutes, the newest member of the 50-goal club. Yes, Mr. 50, Jimmy Carson, will be chatting with Nick Nixon in just a couple of moments. 1 in favor of the Los Angeles Kings at the end of 1. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
The loquacious Frank Layden brings his Utah Jazz into the Forum Tuesday night for another go at the world champion Lakers. Last visit in January didn't work out too well for the visitors, so they're back for more. Join Prime Ticket live at the Forum as the Lakers meet the Jazz.
A shower of great events rains on Prime Ticket in April as John McEnroe and Stefan Edberg duel it out for the Michelin Tennis Challenge Championship. The Lakers close another spectacular season as they tune up for another World Championship run. Stroh's Fight Night at the Forum continues with thundering action and mayhem. Women's collegiate softball, including the prestigious pony tournament from Cal State Fullerton, and a look at the U.S. national soccer team in an exhibition match in Los Angeles. It all rains down in April on Prime Ticket.
Wednesday night could be a preview of the MISL's Western Division Final as the San Diego Sockers and last year's runner-up finalists, the Tacoma Stars, meet at the Tacoma Dome. Prime Ticket will carefully survey the contest. That's Wednesday night as San Diego meets Tacoma.
Monday night, April 25th, it's the $100,000 Michelin Challenge Final as two of professional tennis's greats come to the Forum for a lucrative showdown. The four-man round robin has come down to Stefan Edberg, the world's third-ranked player, and perennial crown favorite John McEnroe, looking to regain that old spark. Tickets are available now at the Forum box office and all Ticketmaster locations, or you can call the Forum at 213-419-3257 and tell them you want to see Edberg and McEnroe in the Michelin Challenge Final, Monday night, April 25th.
Get tight.
We gon' party.
With the right side of the law.
Do you know why I love you?
Stop the car!
You don't live the way other people live.
One man.
You just made number 4 on the most wanted list.
One rule.
I want to be number 1.
Meet Nico. He's a cop with an attitude. Above the law. Rated R. Starts Friday, April 8th.
We're back here at the fabulous Forum. The Los Angeles Kings came out storming in that first period. They have built a 4-1 lead over the Chicago Blackhawks, and 2 of the 4 Kings goals have been scored by Jimmy Carson, and he's still smiling. 49-50. Congratulations. I know you were waiting for this moment.
You better believe it. It's a big thrill for me ever since I was in, a young guy going to Red Wing games and Pee-wees and squirts and mites, and even in junior hockey. I dreamed of this moment, and I'm happy it came through for me.
Now, a lot of kids growing up in the States are going to say, I want to be like Jimmy Carson. So you're going to be a role model for a couple of years, aren't you?
Well, I hope so. I hope I can keep scoring 50. 1 year is it's great, but I think a great hockey player is longevity and consistency.
Now, you scored 2 goals in that first period, number 49 and number 50. We're going to take a look at them on the simulcast in a couple of moments. But, Jimmy, let's talk about this season. You started the season red hot, and it's continued. You really never had a slump, have you?
No, not really. Well, actually, I had one slump, but one real major slump. But I went home this summer, and people were saying the sophomore jinx and all that stuff. I said, no way. I'm going to work hard, and we got a lot of people pulling for me, and there were a few detractors, and I was going to prove to all of them wrong that I could play in this league.
Now, their first goal, not a thing of beauty, but they all count. You had a second chance, and you got a good bounce.
Yeah, well, I had just hit the post before, and I remember the puck goes in the corner there. Dave Taylor's going to end up getting it. He's going to make a really great move to come out, and then he's going to feed me for a pass, and I couldn't really see it, and then I sort of missed the puck or something, and I said, oh, no, the jinx is on. Then all of a sudden it came right back to me, and I said, well, I'm going to try to bank it off him, and then I just shot it, and it went off the shoulder and in.
Then late in the period, the breakaway goal, the historic number 50.
Yeah, well, Chris Contos just takes the draw, and me and Steve worked this play so many times, he just throws it, and I'm going on a breakaway, and I was thinking, we got to sell out. It's a Saturday night. Let's do it right here on a breakaway. So I just fired it.
What were you thinking when you got that lead pass? Were you thinking, I'm just going to shoot it and hope for the best, or were you looking for that corner?
I was just going to shoot it to the stick side. I really wasn't too concerned about high or low. I was just going to, drill it, and then I knew it would go in. I was wishing.
When, the last couple of weeks, did you know you had a legitimate chance to get 50?
Well, about a month ago, I got 9 goals in 5 games. I had a couple hat tricks back-to-back, and I knew that that would put me right back in the hunt.
Jimmy, congratulations again. And what the heck, you've got 3 games after tonight. Go for 60, all right?
Well, I don't know about that, but I want to say hi to my mom and dad in Detroit watching, as well as my cousin Jimmy and Mr. Eric Taylor, who was my general manager in Verdun. Thank you very much for all the help.
Jimmy Carson, a 50-goal scorer, has been our guest. Well, let's move from goal scorers to guys who try and prevent goals. Grant Fuhr tonight tied Bernie Parent's record for most appearances by a goaltender in one season. Fuhr appeared in his 73rd game tonight. Parent set the record in 73-74. Kings are up 4-1 after the first period. We'll be back. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
Hi, I'm Chick Kern. You know I usually cheer for the world champion Lakers, but now I'm cheering for a new champ. Discount Tire Center, now California's #1 Michelin dealer. You see, because we purchase more Michelins than any other independent dealer, you get guaranteed lowest prices and complete customer satisfaction. You'll never get a better deal anywhere, so hurry on down to Discount Tire Centers and cheer for the new champ. Right, girls?
Discount Tire Centers, all the way!
Yeah, Discount Tire Centers, now California's #1 Michelin dealer.
Been coming in here long before any man came to these shores, but these mighty rocks stand fast, big and strong. Well, that's the kind of strength folks have been counting on for over 100 years with Great Western. You see, Great Western's built on a solid base of over $28 billion in assets and backed by the security of federal insurance. So if you want a bank that'll make your money grow safely, come to Great Western Bank. We'll be standing big and strong, no matter how the tides change.
This is Ashley Madison, and Ashley's a bank loan officer. And in your wildest dreams, did you ever think you'd be a winner in the Southern California Chevrolet Dealers Association Test Drive Sweepstakes?
Bob, I still can't believe it.
Now, we have a $10,000 winner every 10 days.
How did you do it? Simple. I just test drove a new Chevy and entered.
There's no obligation. There's nothing to buy. Now, what are you going to do with $10,000?
Use it as a down payment on a Corvette.
Are you? What do you drive now?
An import.
An import? Come on in. You could be our next $10,000 winner.
Well, a very big night at the Forum for the Los Angeles Kings, and certainly Jimmy Carson and the Kings leading after one period of play over the Chicago Blackhawks 4-1. Well, what a period for the Kings. What a night for Carson. What a night for the team. But you know, when you've been giving thought to the Kings in the 70s and 80s, perhaps you think of Dion, Vachon, now Robitaille and Carson. But for more than a decade, Dave Taylor's been doing it all for the Kings and has been quite an inspiration.
It may seem like only yesterday, but it's been more than 10 years since right wing Dave Taylor joined the Kings. Over the last decade, Taylor has played in the shadows of others, but has quietly been the heart and soul of the Kings. And now, in his 11th season in Los Angeles, when Dave Taylor looks around, he suddenly realizes that the passing seasons have turned him into a veteran.
When I first came into the league, I would, look around the room, and there were players, Dave Lewis's or Jerry Korab's or whatever that who were older, and players over 30. When you come in and you're in your 20s, early 20s, you don't even think about a guy being 30 or 35 years old, and these people had families and married, and they had kids and everything, and now it's 11 years, and I'm the guy that's married with the kids, and now we have players 18, 19 years old. I room with Jimmy Carson on the road. He's 19 years old, and I think the whole thing has gone right around in a circle now, and I'm the veteran that he, when he comes in the room, he looks at that old guy over there with the kids, and he's wondering, boy, I'm never going to be like that, but maybe we'll be interviewing him in a few years, and he'll be sitting here talking about the young guy that's just come along as well.
11 years of goals and assists have moved Taylor up among the top point scorers in NHL history.
I have been happy with my career. I think, the numbers that I've been able to post. I'd like to remain in the league to actually reach some of the NHL milestones, 400 goals, 600 assists, or 1,000 points, and I think, those are all within reach. I'm also proud of the fact that I did come out of Clarkson and am the leading scorer for players out of college, and that's something that when I first came into the league, there weren't a whole lot of players who had gone through the college ranks, and I think we're starting to see more and more of that nowadays. So I kind of look on myself as one of the pioneers, I think, of actually moving from the college rank into the NHL, and that's something that I'm proud of as well.
Taylor has never been afraid to pay the price for his success. He's used to rough play.
I've never really minded that, because I think that's the way the game is to be played. I think you go hard after the puck when you don't have it, and if that means going into the corner with somebody who's a little bigger, or getting knocked down a few times, I think that's all part of hockey. Once you get knocked down, you get right up again, and you get after them. You want to get the puck back, and you want to be able to put it into their net. And if you can give a check or you have to take one, I certainly think that's a part of the game as well.
Despite the team's lack of success, Taylor wants to stay a King.
Lots of people will talk about, well, wouldn't you like to go to one of the contenders, or wouldn't you like to play in a hockey city? And I always reply that I'd like to make the Kings a contender. Hopefully, I'll be around for a couple more years, because I think we're heading in the right direction.
Well, Dave Taylor had the right direction tonight. He had a goal and also an assist on one of Jimmy Carson's 2 goals. We've been talking about Jimmy Carson, and of course he had a great rookie season last year, but let's not forget about the other great rookie from last year, Luc Robitaille. And a year ago yesterday, March 25th, Luc Robitaille scored his 77th point of the season, and at that point he broke Larry Murphy's record for the most points by a Kings rookie, Luc Robitaille. Here at the Forum on what termed Jimmy Carson night, the Kings are leading the Chicago Blackhawks 4-1. Second period coming right up.
It's a loud, opinionated, refreshing voyage into the world of the National Hockey League. It's Don Cherry's This Week in Hockey, and it's only on Prime Ticket Network.
Don't forget, tune in.
Ebert goes to Ebert the corner. Out in front, Collins, and he hits above the crossbar. Great pass by Ebert. Shot, the goal deflected in by Collins.
Left side of midfield. Broad running past Alan Willie. He's got Dowdy and Crow with him. Hermes in on goal, shoots and scores.
Soccer fans wanted a foul. They won't receive it. Schmetzer, saved by Birkenmeyer, hugging the near post. Look out, Dana, cutting it back. Loose ball, goal by Crow.
Hey, if you love sports and have a VCR, you won't want to miss the Video Connection. See all the top sports videos available with a special call-in service for quick, easy access to cassettes showcased on the Video Connection. I'll be your host, so join me right here on Prime Ticket.
Every day I'm trying harder. My goal is pleasing you.
When you rent a car from Avis, it comes with a lot of people who want to make sure you're satisfied. Reservation and counter people, mechanics, managers and maintenance people. They're Avis. You may not always see them, but they're there. Rent a Cadillac Seville from Avis for only $45 a day.
Yes, Mrs. Ferber. I'll be right over. What's up? It's Alex. He's been burying things in Mrs. Ferber's garden again.
Right here.
Alex, a bottle of Stroh's.
Keep digging.
Nice, Alex. 15-pack.
Keep digging.
With Stroh's and Stroh Light 15 and 30 packs, you get more beer.
How did you get a whole truck down there?
Why don't we ask the driver?
Bernie Nichols with us tonight, serving the fourth of a 5-game suspension. Bernie, we talked at the start about the way the Kings might start this game, and boy, did they come out smoking.
Well, they sure did, Bob. I think that was the game plan, is to go after these guys. They played last night, and hopefully we could catch them a little tired, maybe a little flat. And we had 15 shots by the 10-minute mark, so we knew the guys were ready, and they really come at them well tonight.
Bernie Nichols, who is serving the fourth of his 5-game league-imposed suspension, joining us. The Kings up 4-1. They outshot Chicago a wide margin, 19-8. Face-offs, 11 Kings wins, 5 Chicago. So right on down the list of statistics, it was all Los Angeles. Penalties, 4 to Chicago and 3 to the Kings, and neither team has scored on a power play. The Kings will start the second period with the power play. Dwayne Sutter is in the penalty box. He picked up a roughing minor at 19:41 of that first period. Darren Pang, a busy goaltender, will set up and defend to our right here in the second period. This is Pang's third appearance against Los Angeles. He is a rookie, so he's appeared in all 3 games that these clubs have played against each other this year. Kings 4, Blackhawks 1. And here with the second period, Bob Miller. Kings on the power play now. They've got a minute 34 left in it. Here's Jimmy Carson with a backhander wide to the right side. Rebound to the right point. Held in by Steve Duchesne. Duchesne for the Kings over to the left side. And then it's swept in deep now to Taylor in the right wing corner. Here's Taylor, Chicago zone. Taylor still with it against the right wing boards. Now passing down along the right side to Luke Robitaille. Robitaille up the middle to Duchesne. He shoots. Wide rebound. Carson tried to stuff it in. He did! Jimmy Carson looked like he stuffed it in from the left side, and if he gets the goal, it is his third of the night. And a power play goal. Now, I didn't see any washout signal, although the referee, Denny Morrell, going, well, no goal. The whistle blew. I didn't see him wash it out, did you? Well, he blew the whistle, so that's why he doesn't have to wash it out, apparently. But the Kings got the puck back to Duchesne. Duchesne took a little flip shot that hit Pang, that went off Carson, that trickled right in the crease. Pang pounced on it. Now Morrell was on the near side, and he lost sight of it long enough to apparently blow down the play. But as you can tell on our simulcast replay, Pang really never did have clear possession of that puck. A current 10-game point scoring streak, 22 goals in his last 23 games. So he has really put on a charge in the last 2 months. 450 goals, which he got earlier tonight. Carson out on the draw, and the puck cleared by the Hawks, so the Kings lost one there because the puck definitely was in play. But if the referee loses sight of it, then he blows the whistle, and that's what happened there. Kings with 55 seconds on the power play. Jimmy Carson, right wing, he shoots, he scores! The hat trick! '51 goals in the season. And is he hot tonight? The puck came to Jimmy Carson on the right wing, and he not only has 50 goals, he has 3 tonight for the hat trick and 51 on the year. And what a game Chris Kontos is playing. He gave the pass on the right wing to Carson, and he let it go from the face-off dot into the long side. And it's the Kings 5, the Blackhawks 1. Chris Kontos with the setup, the nice breakaway lead pass, and Carson goes right between the 5-hole as Pang came charging out. He opened up the skates, and that's where Carson went. Contos with his 4th assist tonight. Carson with the hat-trick goal, his 4th hat-trick this season, 51 on the campaign at 49 seconds here in the second period.
So the Kings turning it into a rout here, and they already have clinched a playoff spot, but they are not going to back in. They're going to make sure of it here. Here is Savard in the middle in the Kings zone. His shot blocked by Laidlaw, and he clears it. Not that they would have backed in anyway, but a lot of people always say that when another team loses and puts themselves out of it. But the Kings leaving no doubt here as they lead 5-1 over a struggling Chicago team, to say the least. They have lost 4 in a row and have only 1 win in their last 6 games. Now the puck cleared out to center ice by the Kings' Craig Laughlin down into the Chicago zone. Blackhawks start to move from right to left. Contos banging his stick, trying to get one of the Chicago players to pass it to him. He's got 4 assists in the game here tonight. Now Contos with it, banked it off the boards, ahead to center. Paul Fenton, Chicago zone. Fenton drops it to Robitaille. Here's Robitaille, cut off against the right wing boards. Robitaille dropped it into the right side to Contos, and his shot hit the side of the net. Comes around the left side, picked up there by Paul Fenton, taken away from him, and then tipped away by Robitaille in deep. Fenton and Keith Brown go for it. Brown knocked down. Fenton with it. Tried to center it to Robitaille. Tipped away. Now it comes to Contos. Contos behind the Chicago net. He's tied up there by Trent Yanni. Contos still with it, but it's taken away by Brian Noonan of Chicago. He tried to clear it, and it is forced out to center by Dan Vincelette. Now the Kings flip it back in. Here's Trent Yanni, just joined the Hawks off the Canadian Olympic team. Yanni drives it down into the Kings zone, dragged behind the net by Healy. Puck comes over the right wing corner, now passed in front and scored! Tipped in! Dirk Graham in the right wing corner was just trying to center it, and it hit something and went past Healy into the net. And it's now the Kings 5, Chicago 2. So Nick, when in doubt, throw it toward the net, I guess. You never know what'll happen.
Well, I think it went off one of the Kings' sticks as Graham was in the corner to the left of Glenn Healy. Healy had played the puck. Now chasing on the far side is Graham, and coming across is newcomer Germain, and I think it went off the outside of Germain's stick and then changed directions, went over the left shoulder of Healy and right in the short side. So an unassisted goal here at 2:37, scored by Dirk Graham.
Chicago with it again, right point, shot from there, deflected on the way in as Ben Wilson got the shot. Kings come to center, 2-on-2. Here is Taylor across the line in the slot. Taylor still with it. Tried to give it to Jimmy Carson, but it went behind him. Kings with it on the right wing side. Now Taylor into Carson. Chicago zone to Taylor. He shoots wide to the left. Rebound off the boards and held in by Laidlaw. In front to Taylor. Taylor can't get a shot. Tipped away. Taylor with it again. Right wing side. Taylor into Carson. He tipped it behind the net, and now Craig Duncanson in the Chicago zone. He gives it to Dave Taylor. Kings with it. Taylor to Duncanson. Now to Taylor. Taylor tied up along the boards on the left wing side by Ben Wilson. Puck comes into Gary Nyland. Nyland sends it around the boards and out to center ice. Kings with it again. Flipped back in by Duncanson. Kings get back on side, but the Blackhawks with it. Pass to center ice. Broken up as Dwayne Sutter's pass taken away by Duguay. On the left side now, and a shot stick save by Pang as the Kings go for it again. Left wing side, here is Carpenter. Duncanson got that first shot. Carpenter around in front. He shoots, and a save by Pang. Rebound, left side, and here's a penalty to Duguay. He took a little ride on the back of Wayne Presley. 5-2 Kings. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
I'll get it, Alex.
Mel's Market. Here's your order.
What order?
Side of beef.
I didn't order.
Here's your delivery, sir.
What delivery?
Your Stroh's 30 packs.
Stroh's. Alex?
Nah. Stroh's and Stroh Light. Fire brewed for smooth, consistent taste. And with 30 packs, you get more beer.
Pardon? Pierre Shop. Here's your poodle.
Oh, Alex.
Ron Duguay sits in the penalty box in disbelief. He can't believe that he picked up a holding penalty, but Presley had position on him as that puck came on the near boards, and Duguay just kind of climbed on top and toppled Presley to the ice. So he's off. Duguay holding at .353. Blackhawk power play, 4th in the NHL, 22.8%. Kings penalty killing has been outstanding in the second half, 16th overall throughout the season.
Now at center ice, Kings with it. Here's Laidlaw, drives it into the Chicago zone. Blackhawks trying to crawl back into this game. They're down 5-2, but they've got the man advantage. 15:55 to go, second period. Here's Savard with it. Savard for Chicago to the right side. Now it goes to Yanni. Now penalty coming up. Chicago, interference.
Yeah, one of the Blackhawks skated right through in front of Glenn Healy and took the feet out from underneath him. So the Blackhawks just got the puck in the zone to set it up, and they get a penalty. 5-2 Kings. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
With the yen rising and the cost of imports going through the roof, there are even more reasons to buy a new Chevy Nova. It has a long list of standard features and a 660 warranty. And now there's also a special $1,200 cashback offer for import owners who buy a new Nova. So, while the costs of buying an import keep going up, so do the reasons for buying a new Chevy Nova.
Test drive a Nova or any new Chevrolet and enter the $10,000 every 10-day sweepstakes.
Steve Larmer is in the penalty box for interfering with Glenn Healy at 4:12, so both clubs will be shy a skater. Dirk Graham gets an unassisted goal at 2:37. He centers the puck from the corner, and it changes directions. It went up high. I think it went off the left leg or skate of Germain, and then went right in off Glenn Healy, who was stunned, needless to say, for Graham his 23rd goal.
Both teams are a man shy. Here's Savard with it for Chicago. He comes across the line. He's a magician with that puck as he stick handles. Still has it. Throws it off the right wing boards, but it's taken away by the Kings. Cleared ahead by Laidlaw to Robitaille with Carson. Robitaille in the slot. Dropped it back left side, and Duchesne didn't get it. Blackhawks come back, and they got a 3-on-2. On the left side, here's Rick Vive. Vive drops it to the trailer. Savard in the slot. Pope checked away by Laidlaw. Now in front, Keith Brown shooting wide. Puck is taken and cleared by the Kings as Chris Contos got back to clear it. Both teams looked like they had chances to score. They're both a man shy. Chicago with it again across the line. Pass into Wayne Presley. Presley didn't get it. Duchesne with it now. Duchesne gave it away to Troy Murray. Murray for Chicago to the blue line. Right side now to Troy Murray again. He lost it to Laidlaw. Here's Laidlaw in the Kings zone. Laidlaw sends it up the right side now, and Duchesne passing ahead, and offside called against the Kings. Paul Fenton offside at the Chicago line.
Chicago Blackhawks have made some changes on defense the last couple of years. They picked up a big guy 2 seasons ago from the Toronto Maple Leafs, Gary Nyland. He's a tough guy, leads the Blackhawks in penalty minutes, second in the club in that category last year. Third overall pick by Toronto back in 1982. He's had his share of knee problems. Gary Nyland, 6'4", 210 pounds.
Faceoff will be in the neutral zone. 14:44 to go here in the second period. Brian Maxwell and Robbie Fatorik behind the bench. Still plenty to smile about. Not only the fact that they're in the playoffs right now, but the fact that their team is playing so well here tonight. Next home game next Wednesday night. Final regular season game, and it'll be a preview of the playoffs. The Calgary Flames. The Kings' opponent in the playoffs will be here. Ben Wilson in deep shooting, and it's tipped over the net by Healy. Puck comes around the right side. Held in the Kings zone by Brian Noonan for the Blackhawks. Noonan in deep, and a penalty to Laidlaw coming up. Holding the call against Tom Laidlaw. 5-2 in favor of the Kings. 14:22 to go, second period. We'll be right back. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
Hi, I'm Chick Curran. You know I usually cheer for the world champion Lakers, but now I'm cheering for a new champ, Discount Tire Center, now California's #1 Michelin dealer. You see, because we purchase more Michelins than any other independent dealer, you get guaranteed lowest prices and complete customer satisfaction. You'll never get a better deal anywhere, so hurry on down to Discount Tire Centers and cheer for the new champ. Right, girls?
Discount Tire Centers, all the way!
Yeah, Discount Tire Center is now California's #1 Michelin dealer.
Tom Laidlaw, the veteran on defense tonight for the Kings, gets 2 minutes for holding. Noonan tried to cut around Laidlaw, just grabbed a hold of his left arm and dumped him to the ice, and then Baumgartner touched up. So for 15 seconds, the Blackhawks have a 4-on-3 skating advantage. Then Duguay comes out, and we're 4 aside again for a while. Kings are up 5-2. Jimmy Carson, 3 goals. He now has 51, the second American and the second youngest player in NHL history to hit 50.
Bob Bourne will take the draw for the Kings in the King zone, and he wins the draw to Baumgartner, who cleared it to the blue line and poked by Bourne to center. Bourne gets knocked down then. Puck comes back into the Chicago zone. Chicago with a 4-on-3 skating advantage, and here's Savard weaving his way in. He shoots. It's deflected up into the crowd. As Dennis Savard came across the line, but Ken Baumgartner of the Kings deflected it up into the crowd. And now both teams are a man shy for 18 seconds.
Well, you mentioned at the top of the broadcast, Bob, so go the Blackhawks, so go Denny Savard. And Savard picking up the puck. He wheels, brings it through center ice. He shows you the puck. He gives it one way, takes it the next. He's a great skater, and he just was determined to unload, but it was deflected well up into the crowd. He has not been dangerous around the net, and he hasn't made a lot of passing plays that have clicked for scoring opportunities thus far, but the night is still young. Savard can get points in bunches.
He had one goal, I guess, Nick, on February 24th against Edmonton. He was spinning. He put the puck between his legs and then went up high on Grant Fuhr, and even the coaches were cheering on the bench. So he can really dazzle you with his moves. We haven't seen the spinorama yet. We may see that before the night is over. 360-degree spin and then his shot at the net. But this Chicago team is really going to have to get going here before they go into the playoffs against St. Louis, because they just are not playing well, and they're not playing well at the start of games. They got down here tonight 2-0, and were outshot 10-2 and 19-8 in that first period.
Blackhawks now with the power play for 1:15.
Now the puck around the left wing boards in the King zone, taken by Duchesne, and he clears it back into the Chicago zone.
Well, we mentioned earlier, Bob, in the first period when the Kings were putting a barrage of shots on Darren Pang, they have given up close to 35, 36 shots on goal against all season long, and that's the sign that they need a lot of work from their forwards and defensemen helping out. They just can't give up that many scoring chances.
Now Duchesne takes it away at center ice for the Kings. Ahead now to Lyle Fair in the slot. Goes to the left side, and his shot deflected wide. Back behind the Chicago net. Pang with it. 39 seconds up to go in the Chicago power play. Kings have a 5-2 lead. Blackhawks moving from our right to our left. Here's Keith Brown up on the left side at Trent Yawney. Yawney lifts it into the right wing corner, King zone. Dirk Graham and Fair battle for it. Fair gets it around the boards, but Wayne Presley had it for Chicago. Presley's pass into Dirk Graham. 15 seconds to go on the power play. Puck taken by the Hawks from the blue line. A shot and a stick save. The shot by Ben Wilson and a save by Healy. Blackhawks with it again. Right wing side, King zone. Behind the net, Dirk Graham. Graham gives it left side to Presley. Up the middle. Shot by Wilson. Saved by Healy. Rebound. Noonan shoots. A save by Healy again. And it comes up out of play into the crowd. And the Kings are back at full strength. And look out now. Baumgartner and Wayne Presley push at each other. But Healy, Nick, with some nice saves there as the power play wound down.
Well, Presley with a chance, Noonan with a chance, Healy with two great saves in succession. Healy starting to pick up some work now after a relatively easy first period.
Kings ahead 5-2 in the second. This game is coming to you live from the fabulous Forum.
This portion of tonight's Kings hockey game is brought to you by Miller Genuine Draft, cold filtered draft beer. It's as real as it gets. And by Avis, who invites you to go in style with a new Cadillac or a similar luxury car for only $45 a day.
Kings up 5-2. If you've just joined us, Jimmy Carson with his fourth hat trick. Of course, that means he is at the 50-goal mark. Robbie Fatorik and Brian Maxwell a little looser tonight than in games past, because the Kings are in the playoffs. Vancouver lost earlier tonight. The Kings are winning here. Chicago, as the power play ended, a couple of chances. Shot from the point by Presley, kicked out. Then Noonan's drive was kicked out with traffic in front of Glenn Healy.
Blackhawks with it again, King zone. Both teams at full strength. On the right wing side, a pass in deep, knocked down by Laidlaw as Dwayne Sutter had sent it in deep, and the Kings clear it out to center ice. Puck comes back to the King line. A hard check there thrown by Wayne Presley on Denny LaRocque. Puck is in the Chicago zone. Darren Pang out into the corner, tipped it ahead, and the Blackhawks try to clear it, and now they will be able to, as Dave Manson, who's been in a couple of scraps tonight, he passes up ahead to center. Here is Troy Murray. Murray across the line for Presley. In front, and he went in deep and got trapped behind the net. Never got a good shot off. Kings with it. Robitaille cleared it, but not out. Held in by Troy Murray of Chicago to Wayne Presley. Presley bumped by Laidlaw. Puck is behind the King net. Dug out there by Chris Contos. Contos to Robitaille. Nice between the leg pass. 3-on-2 for the Kings. Up to center. Here's Denny Larocque. Larocque across the line. Larocque in deep. Larocque in front of Fenton, but it's tipped out of his reach and up into the crowd. Well, a 3-on-2 with a rookie defenseman leading it, Nick, and he had a good goal scorer in Robitaille right behind him, and then he saw Fenton driving for the net and tried to get it over to him for the tip-in.
Well, he didn't hesitate. I think everybody was expecting the drop pass to Robitaille, but Larocque, number 5, recalled because of the slew of injuries on defense, was trying to get it to Fenton driving for the net off the right wing boards. The 3-on-2 charge led out by Denny Larocque. You know, Bob, the Kings, with all the injuries, Dean Kennedy has suited up for the game tonight, but hasn't played, so the Kings are going with 4 youngsters, including Eric Germain, who is appearing in his first NHL game. The only veteran, as we mentioned earlier, is Tom Laidlaw. So you've got 3 rookies, Duchesne, a second-year defenseman, and Laidlaw. That's it tonight on defense for the Kings.
Well, and so far so good, because the Kings have a 3-goal lead at 5-2 with 11:19 to go here in the second period. We've got Mark here tonight, says hi to all of his friends listening on KUSK over in Arizona tonight. And Woody and Bill are here, and they say hi to all the friends watching and listening up in Fresno, California. Wherever you are, hope you're enjoying it tonight, because it's been a good game for the Kings. They have a 5-2 lead, and Jimmy Carson has scored 3 goals tonight. And off the draw, shot hit the crossbar. Shot from the right side, hit the crossbar as Craig Laughlin drove one. Carson's hit a post tonight. He could have had 4 goals. And Laughlin drove one that time off the crossbar. Kings are winning some faceoffs, Nick, tonight, and that's what's led to several scoring opportunities and a couple of goals. Puck is in the King zone now. Chicago with it up the middle. Trent Gawney shooting, and a save by Healy, knocked it wide. Here's Dennis Savard behind the net, comes around in front. His backhand pass and a backhand shot off the glove of Healy on the shot by Vide. Now Savard with it again. Savard bumped behind the net. Puck taken away by Laughlin. Around to Germain. He can't clear it. Now he gets another chance, and this time he does clear it to center. 10:29 to go. We're in the second period with the Kings ahead 5-2. Vancouver lost at Calgary tonight. The Kings have clinched a playoff spot. Now here is Steve Duchesne. His pass up to center ice, broken up by Chicago's Keith Brown to Rick Vide. Vide's pass taken away by Duchesne. Duchesne flips it into the Chicago zone. Jimmy Carson is on the ice. He's got 3 goals tonight. Steve Contos of the Kings has 4 assists tonight. Puck comes up to center ice. Here's Noonan down the left side for Chicago. Lost his balance, sent it toward the net. Steered away by Healy. Into the left wing corner, King zone. Baumgartner is there. He gets tied up. He throws a check. Now here is Noonan for Chicago in the slot. He gets it on the right side to Ben Wilson. Wilson in the corner, in front, and knocked down by Healy. As he hangs on, and Dirk Graham can't believe he didn't get a better shot than that. He was right in the slot, number 33, Dirk Graham.
Well, the Blackhawks are getting some scoring chances here in the second period, primarily because their forwards are putting in a good second and third effort, getting up ice and in the zone quickly. A few moments ago, the Kings won the draw cleanly. Carpenter to Laughlin, and Craig Laughlin, the former Capital, went upstairs on Darren Pang and pinged one off the post.
A ping-pang. Face-off will be in the King zone next Wednesday night, the final home playoff, or final home regular season game for the Kings. Calgary Flames will be here. That's awards night, fan appreciation night. We'll tell you more about it as this game goes on. The puck is cleared out to center by the Kings, both teams at full strength. Puck taken by the Kings. Here's Carson with Taylor, and it's tipped away. They got all tangled up, and back to center ice comes Brian Noonan. Noonan for Chicago, lost it to Taylor. Taylor with Carson. Taylor right side to Carson in front alone. He shoots, deflected up over the net. Carson went to his backhand and had a chance, and he gets knocked down hard behind the Chicago net, and the Blackhawks clear it to center. Jimmy Carson, looking for his 4th, was set up in front. I don't know, as we get a whistle now, whether Pang deflected it high or Jimmy's shot went high. But Carson got a nice pass from Dave Taylor.
Well, Carson has been dangerous almost every shift. Noonan spun at center, lost the puck. Taylor picked it up. Carson turned. It was a 2-on-2. They crisscrossed. Two Blackhawks went for the puck carrier. That opened up Carson in front. He just shot it over the net by a wide margin on his backhand. But Carson has hit a post. He's had a goal disallowed because of an early whistle. He has scored 3 goals, and he's missed one right there. So he's had excellent chance after excellent chance.
Jimmy Carson gets a rest over on the King bench. We mentioned next Wednesday night, everybody in attendance here gets a free Kings team poster courtesy of RC Cola. And the first 10,000 fans receive a beautiful Kings tie pin. There will also be a drawing for several great prizes and the annual Kings Player Awards presentation. All that coming up here in the final regular season home game next Wednesday night. It'll all come your way on KLAC Radio. Puck taken by the Kings. Luke Robitaille, Chicago zone. He's run into the boards by Mark Bergevin on the left wing, and the Blackhawks dig it out. 5-2 Kings lead. Hawks come to center. Here is Troy Murray driving it back behind the King net. Duchesne plays it there, gets it up to Paul Fenton on the right side. Fenton's pass out to center ice, deflects back into the Chicago zone. Robitaille, Cantos, and Fenton up front for the Kings. Blackhawks clear it to center now and out of the reach of Presley. Puck poked ahead by Duchesne. Over to Luke Robitaille. Robitaille to Fenton. Fenton, Chicago zone, left wing side. He flips it high in the air and back behind the Chicago net. Now to the right point. Duchesne shooting. Knocked down in front. In the slot. Cantos in front of Robitaille. Penalty coming up. Slashing is going to be the call. With the Kings ahead 5-2. We'll be right back. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
It's real. I know it's real. No other reason for the way I feel. Oh yeah. It's as real as it gets. Feels good. So right.
If you go for what's real, you want a beer that's not heat pasteurized, not tampered with. Cold filtered Miller Genuine Draft.
The University of North Dakota's Troy Murray gets 2 minutes for slashing. The Kings trying to get the puck in front, and Murray slashes Robitaille up high, top of the left circle. Kings on the power play for the 4th time. 5-2 Kings. Carson, 3 goals. He's got 51 now. Baumgartner and Taylor 1 apiece. Bobby Carpenter out in the draw, and he has been a factor tonight.
And he's been the only other U.S.-born player to ever get 50 goals in a season. He had 53 at Washington, and now as the puck comes toward Darren Pang, the Chicago goaltender, he covers up. So Bobby Carpenter did it in Washington with 53, and Jimmy Carson did it here tonight. He's got 51.
The year Carpenter got it, he played at center ice the whole season with Mike Gartner on right wing and Gaetan Duchesne on the left side.
And off the draw now, the puck taken by Keith Brown. He's chased around the boards by Duncanson. Duncanson throws a check, but the puck is taken by Steve Larmer. He almost gave it away in front of his own net, then got it back again and cleared it out to center. 7:56 to go here in the second period. Kings ahead 5-2. Puck picked up and sent to center by Bourne. Tipped away, and the Blackhawks control it back in their own zone. Now at center ice, puck driven down into the King zone. If Chicago had played better, they had a good shot at second place in their division because they're going to finish with 3 games at home while St. Louis is on the road. Here's Craig Laughlin on the right side, Chicago zone. He got it back to Carpenter. In front, Carpenter shoots, he scores! Bobby Carpenter ends a long drought. It's his first goal in his last 15 games. And did he put some moves on coming down the right side? He got bumped, but he got the puck, then stepped in and brought it out in front of the net, then went in deep, and then right from in front of the crease flipped it in. And the Kings lead 6-2.
Bobby Carpenter, his 18th of the season. He picked up the puck right along the goal line with some good moves, stepped around Ben Wilson and tucked it in. Bobby Carpenter saying, well, Jimmy, this is how I did it a few years ago when I got my 50-plus.
So the Kings with a 4-goal lead again at 6-2. Power play goal Puck comes up to center ice, and the Blackhawks, Dan Vincelette fires it into the Kings zone. Healy covers it up as Vincelette chases it down. 7:08 to go, second period. 6-2 Kings. Let's pause for station identification. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
Another fight night from the Forum comes to Prime Ticket this Monday night with more great tournament action. Join us for the best in professional boxing Monday at 6:45.
We've mentioned it before, Bob, but Carson also the third King to get 50 goals in a season. Dion did it 6 times. Simmer did it twice. The constant with those 3 players, Dave Taylor. We should give him some credit, I think. Dave Taylor has played with Carson most of the year. And, of course, Taylor, Simmer, and Dion for many seasons, the Triple Crown line. Dave Taylor's never had 50, but, boy, has he helped those 3 players get theirs.
Well, the Kings can work on trying to get another guy 50 as Robitaille is 5 away with 45. And the Kings don't have to worry about making the playoffs. They're in. Here's Gary Nyland of Chicago into Dirk Graham. Graham, Kings zone, right wing side. He's tied up by Eric Germain, but the Kings' Mike Allison can't get to the puck to clear it. Now Dirk Graham, right wing side into Dan Vincelette. Vincelette's pass going to be broken up by Duchesne. Steve Duchesne with it, sends it up the right side to Duguay. Duchesne took a hard check. Here's Duguay to center, checked by Dirk Graham. Duguay flips it into the Chicago zone, taken by Allison. He tried to give it to Duguay, broken up by Brian Noonan. Noonan up the right side, gets knocked down by Allison, and while on his knees, Noonan passes back into his own zone to Ben Wilson. 6:18 to go, second period. Bob Miller with Nick Nixon. Kings ahead 6-2. Blackhawks with it. Left side, Dirk Graham. Graham's pass into Ben Wilson, shooting, and he scores! Ben Wilson shot it from the left side. The light never went on, but the puck was in. It bounced around and came right out again, but Ben Wilson got the shot, and it is now the Kings 6, the Blackhawks 3.
A lot of traffic in front of Glenn Healy. Ben Wilson picks up the puck from Dirk Graham, and Wilson looks up. Fenton's there, another Blackhawk in front, and it deflected off the skate of the falling Blackhawk and went in right underneath the crossbar and came out quickly. So we'll wait to see who gets credit for it, but it certainly looked like it hit a Blackhawk skate right in front after Healy lunged to his left. The goal at 13:51. The Kings' 6th goal at 12:33 on the power play. Carpenter's 18th from Laughlin.
Now the red light never came on, but that definitely was in, as you could see. And it's 6-3 Kings across the line. Here's Contos, left side shot, saved by Pang, and the shot by Paul Fenton. Fenton rolls it out in front again, and Darren Pang covers up. Chris Contos, Nick, is really coming across that blue line with a great idea of where his wingers are, and he's making some beautiful passes here tonight. Steve Larmer, another guy that is good offensively for the Chicago Blackhawks.
And defensively, he's a solid player and an Iron Man, appearing in his 477th consecutive game. Of course, he's not, well, I guess he is a little over halfway to breaking the NHL record, so he's got to play another 6 or 7 seasons. They're giving the goal to Wilson from Graham at 13:51. 6-3 Kings.
Now Robitaille, Chicago zone, gets knocked down, rolls it up to the blue line. Here is Denny Larocque shooting, score, tipped in. And Luc Robitaille gets his 46th of the year. Luc Robitaille skating through the slot, redirected the shot from the right point. And now it's the Kings 7, the Blackhawks 3.
Well, Robitaille did some good work along the boards. He fell down, but then he got up and got right back in front of the net. That's why Luc is so dangerous. He knows where to go without the puck, and he just redirected that little centering pass from Denny Larocque, his 46th goal of the season and 98th point. Larocque will pick up 1 assist, the goal at 14:21, 7-3 Kings.
Now the puck cleared down to center ice and driven right back into the Chicago zone. Darren Pang behind the net. He gets it around the left side to Trent Yanni. Yanni gets tied up there. Now Carpenter centers it up the middle. Now to the blue line. And back over on the right side to Duncanson into Carpenter. Chicago zone. Now to Laughlin. Laughlin on the right wing side. He's tied up. Puck comes to the blue line. Denny Larocque shooting wide. Rebound off the boards. Brown bumps Carpenter, and Keith Brown with it for Chicago, and he clears it out to center ice.
Larocque and Contos, the assists on Robitaille's goal. Fans reacting as the linesman got hit with a puck. And we get a whistle. Jimmy Christensen getting shaken up on the play. 7-3 Kings. We'll be back. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
Kings Hockey is brought to you by Discount Tire Centers for championship performance and unbeatable prices. Discount Tire Centers, we cut prices, not quality. By Great Western's family of companies, over $28 billion in assets. 100 years strong, will always be there. By Miller Genuine Draft, cold filtered draft beer. It's as real as it gets. And by your Southern California Chevrolet Dealers Association, home of the $10,000 every 10 days test drive sweepstakes. No obligation, nothing to buy. To enter, just test drive any new Chevy at a participating dealer.
Veteran linesman Jim Christensen getting banged up here as he got hit with that puck, but he is back up and getting set to drop the puck outside the Kings blue line. LaRock shot the puck and it hit Christensen outside of the right leg up high, and that's got a smart.
Now the puck taken by the Hawks. Kings zone, a shot knocked down by Healy. The shot by Graham, and then Healy made the save and knocked down one of the Blackhawks who was driving for the net.
Yeah, Healy was upset because he was bumped right as he made that save, and he kind of gave a push to that Blackhawk player that was driving right in front. I think it was Ludzik. But anyway, Dirk Graham had the shot, bouncing puck, didn't get a lot on it. Healy makes the save, and he just kind of bumps into Ludzik, and then Duchesne and a couple of others just kind of throw him to the ice gently. The 7th King goal, Robitaille's 47th from LaRock and Chris Contos. And for Chris Contos, Bob, 5 assists tonight. And that ties a club record. 4th time a King player has had 5 assists in a game, previously done by Taylor, Danny Grant, and Marcel Dion.
So we've had a hat trick by Jimmy Carson, 5 assists in the game by Contos. Now a drive by the Hawks from the left side by Nyland and a save by Healy. And the 46th goal by Luc Robitaille. Here's Carson driving in the Chicago zone. Left wing corner, he gets knocked down, throws it behind the net. Taylor drives for there. Taylor is tied up by Dirk Graham. Taylor pushes Graham, and the puck comes behind the net and is tied up there.
Looked like Graham, after being pushed into the boards by Taylor, took a pretty good two-hander down low on Taylor's leg, and Taylor and Graham are talking it over right now to the left of goaltender Darren Pang. Of course, those are two gritty performers. They come to play. And now, let's see, Santapass and Baumgartner want to try and get at each other, but Graham had the puck and was pushed on the near boards by Taylor, which started this all. And then Taylor, after he got up, was whacked on the side of the leg. And after the whistle blew out at center ice, Baumgartner and Santapass dropped their gloves, and they tried to get at each other, but they were kept apart by the linesmen, but they're going to get penalties.
And I'll tell you, both teams were changing lines. We had 9 King skaters out there, not counting the goaltender Glenn Healy, but nothing further happens. But what a night, not only for Jimmy Carson, but a newcomer, Chris Contos.
Well, you know he's got the ability and the skills, Bob. He was a first-round draft choice by the New York Rangers in the early 80s. Again, he has tied a club record for most assists in one game with 5.
Face-off in the Chicago zone, so a big night, and we've still got 4:24 to go in the second period. Now Laidlaw with it. 7-3 in favor of the Kings. They've already clinched a playoff spot. That happened earlier when Vancouver lost just before this game started tonight. Puck taken now by the Kings. Eric Germain in his own zone. Up the left side to Bourne. Now to Duguay to Bourne. To the red line. To the Chicago line. Bourne down the right side, driving in front, he shot wide to the left. Bourne chases his own rebound, gets it again, gives it to Duguay. Duguay didn't get it. It comes behind the Chicago net and taken there by Dave Manson. Here's Manson for the Hawks, gave it away to Bourne. Bourne shooting, knocked away by Pang. Rebound centered, broken up by Noonan for Chicago. The Hawks come to center. Here's Dan Vincelette. Vincelette for the Blackhawks, drives it in. Easy stop made by Glenn Healy. 3:37 to go. We're here in the second period. Bob Miller with Nick Nixon. Kings ahead, 7-3. Puck is in the Kings zone. Ron Duguay on the right side. He clears it to center. The Blackhawks, Trent Yawney controls it for Chicago. Throws it over to Keith Brown. Here's Brown to center ice. Here's Brown passing ahead now to Larmer across the King line in the slot. He's tied up and knocked down by Eric Tremaine. Tremaine doesn't clear it. Trent Gawney for Chicago. Over and a shot wide by Savard. Rebound to Robitaille. Here's Robitaille to center. 3-on-2 for the Kings. Robitaille to the right side. Dropped it to Fenton. He shoots and a save by Pang. Cole Fenton right in the slot. Now Chicago working on a 3-on-2. Up ahead, here's Savard across the line. Spins to the blue line. Savard's pass. Left side, Ben Wilson shooting through traffic. Blocked. Rebound. Knocked down in front, and Healy covers up right in the crease.
A pile-up right in front of Glenn Healy as the Blackhawks threw a couple of shots in front. The Blackhawks doing a pretty good job for the most part here in the second period, getting people in front of goaltender Glenn Healy. They've tried to bump him on a couple of occasions, but it really isn't paying off. Savard, again, engineering the play. They get it on the left side. A shot by Wilson. It escaped. Then Vive got it back. It bounced around. Larmer tried to chip it in, but Healy, just sitting on the ice, reaches out and says, here it is. I'll take it and hold on. Dennis Savard spinning around inside the blue line. So many great playmakers do that now. Then they get a better look at the players racing up into the play, and Larmer tried to finish it off by chipping at it. Healy got the whistle and covered up.
Good crowd here tonight, 14,479. Don't forget, playoff tickets go on sale tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. here at the Forum box office and all Ticketmaster outlets. If you get strip tickets, that's one for every possible playoff game. You can get the same seats for all the playoff games. Up the middle, shot by Presley of Chicago and a save by Healy. And a little shoving in front of Healy again.
Well, again, the Kings scrapped injury-wise, and Glenn Healy hasn't played much the last 2 or 3 weeks, and they want to give him all the room that they possibly can. And I really think the Blackhawks' game plan is try to get in the way of Healy, get him off his game. Again, the ticket information as the Kings get set to meet the Calgary Flames. They go on sale tomorrow, 10 a.m. at the Forum box office. Series A, the Kings in Calgary. Game 1, which will be Game 3 of the series overall, Saturday, April 9th, and the next night, April the 10th, for Game 2 here at home. So the Kings playing someone other than Edmonton in the first round for a while. Calgary eliminating Vancouver earlier, 6-1.
Now the puck in the Kings zone, kicked out into the right circle by Wayne Presley of Chicago to the blue line to Gary Nyland, but tipped away from him. Taken by Chicago. Ben Wilson throws it on the right side. Here is Savard with a shot and a save made by Healy, and he hangs on again. And look out now.
Yeah, the Blackhawks hovering around Healy, and the Kings trying to clear them out. Steve Duchesne is in there for the Kings, and now everybody for the Kings is in there. But again, Healy makes the save. Sutter's around there, Presley, and we get the discussions going on. Of course, the Blackhawks have to try and get some life back into this. Duncanson comes over, and he tries to keep Sutter away from the pack. Blackhawks are down by 7-3. They've given up 7 goals in not even 2 periods, but the Blackhawks fed it on the right side to Troy Murray. Murray takes the wrist shot. Healy juggles, makes the save, and Healy really had Sutter to his right. I don't even think Healy saw Sutter come in, but the Kings' Duchesne was trying to keep him away from the goaltender, and then everybody congregated. But we're going to get penalties here at 17:39. Wayne Sutter in the penalty box. They each get 2 minutes for roughing at 17:39.
I had said Savard on the right wing with that shot, but it was Troy Murray. Again, we want to clarify something. The strip tickets for the playoffs, that is a ticket for every possible playoff game, and there are a possible 16 here at the Forum. If the Kings went all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals. Those are available only in the Forum box office. Individual game tickets are available in the Forum box office and all Ticketmaster outlets. 2:21 to go here in the second period. The Kings have a 7-3 lead. Both teams are still at full strength as the coincidental minor penalties are called. Jimmy Carson, who's got 3 goals in the game tonight, will take the face-off in the Kings zone, and off the draw, shot wide, just wide to the left side, and now the left point Manson with a shot. That was Brian Noonan, who got knocked down on the face-off and almost put it in the far corner. Now Noonan's centering pass broken up by the Kings, Dave Taylor. Here's Taylor coming up to center ice of the red line. He flips it into Chicago zone. Kings have Taylor, Carson, and Lyle Fair up front. Blackhawks with it. 1:56 left to go here in the second period. Blackhawks come to the King line. It's flipped in by Dirk Graham, taken by Healy. He leads it for Laidlaw. Laidlaw's pass on the right wing to Taylor. Taylor comes to center. Taylor across the line, down the right wing. He's bumping hard along the boards, goes down to the ice. Puck is in deep, played by the goaltender Pang. Pang flips it out along the boards in the Chicago zone, and the Blackhawks bring it to center. Here's Dan Vincelette. Vincelette across the line. He's got Dirk Graham with him. He leaves it for Graham. Good hard check thrown by Denny Larocque on Vincelette, and Larocque comes out with a puck. Graham and Baumgartner back in the zone. And Baumgartner and Graham go down to their knees throwing some punches. And now Baumgartner has knocked Graham's helmet off, and he throws some left hands, and he knocks Graham down to the ice again, and now they're going to separate him.
Well, Graham was roughed up along the boards by Kenny Baumgartner around the back of the head, and Graham took exception. I frankly was looking for a call from Morrell, but none was forthcoming, and Graham spun off the near boards and immediately challenged Baumgartner. He dropped his equipment first. We'll have to wait and see if anybody else saw it that way. But Dirk Graham, who for the Chicago Blackhawks has been quite an acquisition, will go off along with Kenny Baumgartner, who's become a fan favorite here the last couple of months.
Graham, when they separated them, indicating, nah, he didn't hurt me at all. And then he and Baumgartner exchanged greetings, so to speak, once again. Baumgartner heads for the dressing room down the Kings hallway. And Dirk Graham of Chicago has left. 5 minutes each for fighting. This is an officially copyrighted broadcast of California sports and the Los Angeles Kings, and is intended solely for the private non-commercial use of our audience. Any reproduction, rebroadcast, or other use of the accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Kings is prohibited.
Well, fighting majors to Baumgartner and Graham at 18:39. So they wash out and they go to their respective locker rooms with 1:21 left in the second period. The Kings are in front 7-3, and it's been a night marked by a couple of milestones. The Kings clinching a playoff berth with Vancouver losing at Calgary. The Kings are trying to just open up some more room by winning here in front of a huge crowd tonight. Jimmy Carson has scored not only his 50th goal, but also a hat trick. He now has 51 goals, and Chris Kontos has tied a club record. The center acquired from the Pittsburgh organization in February, 5 assists tonight, and he assisted on that 50th goal by Jimmy Carson. Face-off out at center ice. Dennis Savard, who will be our second period guest, will take the draw with Chris Kontos. Kontos, a quick stop-off last year in Pittsburgh. He and Ron Duguay swapped teams, and then, of course, he came over in the Eriksson deal.
Now the Kings with it. Here's Kontos to Robitaille with a drive over the Chicago net and off the glass. Puck taken by Paul Fenton, right wing side. Fenton throws it in toward the net, steered away by Pang. Puck is picked up by Trent Yawney. He's bumped by Robitaille. Now it's taken by Kontos to Fenton. He shoots and a save by Pang. Puck is picked up now by Rick Vive. He almost lost it to Robitaille. Vive gets it ahead to center. 3-on-3. Here's Savard across the line. Moves to the right side. Still with it in the Kings zone. Savard to the blue line. His pass taken on the right side by Larmer. Larmer going in deep. Throws it in front. Tipped and a save by Healy. And the puck cleared out to center ice. Rick Vive right in front of the net tried to tip it in, and Healy knocked it away. 33 seconds left to go here in the second period. 7-3, Kings lead. Here's Vive for Chicago. Ahead, and Larmer gets knocked down. And the puck taken by the Kings. Here's Tom Laidlaw. Laidlaw sends it up the left side. We got a penalty coming up. Here's Carpenter chasing it in. Pang breaks it up. And a penalty against Chicago coming up here. Kind of behind the play. Vive is upset. 15 seconds to go here in this second period, and Rick Vive on the Chicago bench is really upset, and I'm not sure who they got. It was behind the play as the Kings came to center ice. Penalty against Chicago. Now look out, we've got Sutter upset with Healy. The Blackhawks are upset with Glenn Healy, and I'm not sure what Healy did. Larmer gets 2 minutes for holding. Chicago's Larmer, 2 for holding at 19:45. But the Blackhawks are all upset with Glenn Healy, and as the play came to center ice, I don't know what Healy did. And Rick Vive is still standing on the bench, gesturing toward the ice. These are not happy times for the Blackhawks. They have lost 4 in a row. Looks like they're going to finish in 3rd place in their division. They'll play the St. Louis Blues in the opening round of the playoffs. And they'll open that series in St. Louis. So, with 15 seconds to go in this period, Steve Larmer in the penalty box for the Chicago Blackhawks. Bob Murdoch looking on along with Wayne Thomas, the assistant coach. He and Darryl Sutter, the assistant coaches for the Blackhawks, alternate 5-game stints behind the bench. So now Darryl Sutter's up here in the press box for Chicago tonight, and Wayne Thomas, former goaltender in Montreal and Toronto, he will be behind the bench. Face-off will be to the left of the Chicago goaltender Darren Pang, as Bobby Carpenter will take the draw. 7-3 Kings lead, and off the face-off here's Duncanson, can't get a shot. Carpenter with it in the slot, couldn't get a shot, and it slides toward Pang, and he covers up. 10 seconds to go in the second period. Face-off will move over to the right of Darren Pang. 10 seconds to go in this period, and the Kings enjoying a 4-goal lead. Kings on the power play, and it'll stretch into the third period unless they score here in the final 10 seconds of the second period as Carpenter gets set to take the draw. And on the face-off, Kings have it. Here's Duchesne at the blue line. He gives it to Laidlaw. 5 seconds to go in the period. Laidlaw's pass into the corner. Duncanson with it. Knocked down. 1 second to go in the period. And that's it. We are at the end of 2 periods here at the fabulous Forum, and Glenn Healy, who has raised the ire of the Blackhawks, skates by their bench on the way to the dressing room. Jimmy Carson got his 3rd goal of the game and 51st of the year from Chris Contos at 49 seconds of the second period. Then Dirk Graham with his 23rd unassisted at 2:37. Bobby Carpenter of the Kings with his 18th, first in 15 games on a power play from Laughlin at 12:33. Then Ben Wilson is 6th from Dirk Graham at 13:51 for Chicago. And Luc Robitaille, trying to reach 50 goals, got his 46th of the year from Larocque and Contos. Contos' 5th assist at 14:21. Well, Nick will be finding out about the way the Blackhawks feel about this game and this season as it winds down, as Dennis Savard will be Nick's guest in just a couple of moments. So at the end of the periods here at the Forum, the Kings lead it 7-3. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
Tomorrow, an MISL Southern California War at the Forum as the Los Angeles Lasers look to derail the San Diego Sockers. The Sockers seem certain for the championship final, but the Lasers won't let it come so easily. Tomorrow, it's a prime ticket exclusive.
A great left hand to the jaw of Wilson. And a great left hand to the jaw of Locke. Taylor's trying to use all the savvy that he's through all these bouts, and he is in great trouble. Taylor can't win. They're stopped the fight.
He withstood the attack, and hard right by Hassan. Hard right. Grant is in deep trouble.
Thursday night, Pauley Pavilion will be rocking as the waves of Pepperdine and UCLA Bruins go head-to-head in volleyball. Remember the Kilgore Cup in January on Prime Ticket when they met? It was terrific, and more is planned, so be with us again. Pepperdine meets UCLA.
Now that the Chevy Cavalier has been thoroughly restyled, you might be wondering what Chevrolet could possibly do to make it any more attractive. Any more questions? When engineers gave the imported Chevy Spectrum a turbo, it really moved. But now that Chevy's given Spectrum Turbo a special cash-back offer, we expect it will move even better.
Hi, I'm Chick Curran. You know I usually cheer for the world champion Lakers, but now I'm cheering for a new champ. Discount Tire Centers, now California's #1 Michelin dealer. You see, because we purchase more Michelins than any other independent dealer, you get guaranteed lowest prices and complete customer satisfaction. You'll never get a better deal anywhere, so hurry on down to Discount Tire Centers and cheer for the new champ. Right, girls?
Discount Tire Centers, all the way!
Yeah, Discount Tire Centers, now California's #1 Michelin dealer.
We're back here at the Fabulous Forum. The Los Angeles Kings have exploded for 7 goals already. They lead the Chicago Blackhawks 7-3. And when you talk about the Blackhawks, you've got to talk about the great Dennis Savard, and he is joining us for a few moments. Dennis, you're having your best season ever. This is your 8th in the NHL. Any particular reason why you're having such a great campaign?
Well, I don't really know why, Nick. I don't think I'm doing anything different than the years before. I think ice time is probably one of the reasons why I'm playing a little better this year than the other years. So ice time in combination of, playing with Rick Vaive and Steve Larmer has certainly made a big difference this year.
Is it coincidental that your ice time is picked up with Bob Murdoch? Does he like to see you out there in certain situations where you weren't in years past?
That's exactly right. I know I never used to kill penalty before, and now I'm killing penalties. And he's put me out there in crucial situations with a minute left in the game and taking draws. So he's shown me a lot of confidence, and I'm trying to do the best job as I can out there.
Now the playoffs are just around the corner, just 12 days away. And Dennis, your club is struggling. You haven't won in the last 5, including tonight. What has been the problem for your hockey club?
Well, Nick, I think there's different things that we're not doing right out there, and I don't think we're playing great defensively. That's number one. I think if we learn to play defense, we're learning defense, I guess. But if we're willing to play defense, we're going to be a better club. And defense is hard work and dedication, and I don't think we're showing that right now, especially in the last 10, 15 games.
You came into the league. Wayne Gretzky was just starting. Mario Lemieux a few years ago. Now a guy like Jimmy Carson. How does Carson impress you? He got his 51st tonight.
Well, he's one good player, I'll tell you. He's young still, and he'll be a superstar in no time now. I think he is a superstar on the ice. And Jimmy has played for the same team as I played in junior in 1976. I started there. So, he's a good player. He's going to do a lot, and he's going to score a lot of 50-goal seasons in his career. I'm glad for him that he did it tonight. And, I wish it would have been against somebody else.
Well, Dennis, it's always a treat to watch you perform your magic. Keep up the magic for many seasons. Thanks for the chat.
Thanks, Nick.
Dennis Savard of the Chicago Blackhawks has been our guest. Well, from one great hockey player to maybe the greatest, Mr. Hockey Gordie Howe. This date in NHL history, March 26, 1947. Gordie played in his first Stanley Cup playoff game, his first of many. His Red Wings lost to Toronto 3-2 in overtime. Gordie Howe. We're between periods here at the Fabulous Forum, 7-3 Los Angeles. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
Get tight.
Great to watch you perform your magic. Keep up the magic for many seasons. Thanks for the chat.
Thanks, Nick.
Dennis Savard of the Chicago Blackhawks has been our guest. Well, from one great hockey player to maybe the greatest, Mr. Hockey Gordie Howe. This date in NHL history, March 26, 1947. Gordie played in his first Stanley Cup playoff game, his first of many. His Red Wings lost to Toronto 3-2 in overtime. Gordie Howe. We're between periods here at the Fabulous Forum, 7-3 Los Angeles. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
Get tight.
We gon' party.
With the right side of the law.
Do you know why I love you? Stop the car! You don't live the way other people live.
One man.
You just made number 4 on the most wanted list.
One rule.
I want to be number 1.
Meet Nico. He's a cop with an attitude. Above the law. Rated R. Starts Friday, April 8th.
Monday night, April 25th, it's the $100,000 Michelin Challenge Final as 2 of professional tennis's greats come to the Forum for a lucrative showdown. The 4-man round robin has come down to Stefan Edberg, the world's 3rd-ranked player, and perennial crown favorite John McEnroe, looking to regain that old spark. Tickets are available now at the Forum box office and all Ticketmaster locations, or you can call the Forum at 213-419-3257 and tell them you want to see Edberg and McEnroe in the Michelin Challenge Final, Monday night, April 25th.
Right now, the only thing that would taste better than a nice cold one is a cold filtered one.
Miller Genuine Draft. Hot, isn't it?
Yeah, if you want a beer whose real taste hasn't been changed by heat pasteurization, we've got it down cold. Cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft.
It's as real as it gets.
Make the most of your night at the fights. Join the Forum Ringsiders Club.
3 more goals in the second period for Los Angeles, and the Kings at the end of 2 periods of play now holding a 7-3 lead over the Chicago Blackhawks. Let's take a look now at the rest of the games in the National Hockey League tonight. First of all, Calgary defeated Vancouver 6-1. In so doing, Calgary wins the Smythe Division and eliminates Vancouver from the playoffs. Philadelphia beating Winnipeg as the Jets' long losing streak continues. The Islanders knock off Edmonton 5-4, so the Oilers will not repeat as the Smythe Division champs. Hartford over Minnesota 8-1. St. Louis edged Toronto 3-2. Earlier today, the Rangers came from a 4-goal deficit to tie Detroit 4-4, and it was Boston beating Quebec, the final there 6-2. And now as we wind down in the season, we're winding down in our Ask a King questions as well. And tonight's question is intended for the venerable voice of the Los Angeles Kings, Bob Miller, sent in by Rudy Zontini of Paso Robles, who watches Kings hockey on Sonic Cable. And he asked Bob, when calling the game, you never seem to make any large mistakes. Have you ever had a bad game? All right, let's see what the voice of the Kings has to say about that right now.
Well, Rudy, thank you very much for your kind comments about the broadcast. But yes, I have had some bad games. I guess like all of us, you go to work and you hope everything is going to go well that day, but it doesn't always go well. We don't always have a perfect broadcast, although that's what we strive for. I think I can't think of an exact game that we had a bad broadcast, but I know sometimes in the 15 years that I've been here, there have been on several occasions, and I try not to let it happen too often, times when, from my angle, I think the puck is going into the net. And doing the play-by-play, I do try to anticipate a little bit, and there have been times when I've said, so-and-so shoots, he scores, and it did not go in the net. It's very embarrassing, and I get very upset at myself for making a mistake like that, because I picture myself in my living room at home watching or listening to the game and getting all excited because I think the Kings have scored, and then the announcer says, oh, I'm sorry, it didn't go in the net. Now, that's happened on several occasions. I try not to let it happen too often, but it has happened, and I get very upset at myself over that. But thank you very much for your question.
Okay, well, I also thank Rudy Zontini. Rudy, you're one of our last winners here on Ask a King. You're going to be getting 2 tickets to a game for the Kings next season, the 88-89 campaign, but you are eligible for the grand prize, a weekend for 2 in New York City with airfare provided by American Airlines, something special in the air, as well as 2 days and 2 nights spent at the Sheraton Hotel, the hospitality people. And the grand prize winner, by the way, will be announced on the last regular season game of the season here on Prime Ticket, and that will be the Kings against Edmonton. Here at the Forum tonight, the Los Angeles Kings on a big night are leading, and it's a big night as well for the leaders in the National Hockey League. Wayne Gretzky getting 3 more points to close in on Mario Lemieux, but it looks as though Wayne's out of it. It looks as though Lemieux is going to win that scoring title with 155 points. Gretzky now with 137. Dennis Savard, who we're seeing tonight, with 123. Dale Hawerchuk of Winnipeg, 116 points. And Peter Stastny of Quebec is 5th in the scoring race with 109 points. Here at the Forum, it's the Los Angeles Kings 7, the Chicago Blackhawks 3. Third period coming up next.
Monday night, Stroh's Super Bantamweight elimination action is in store for Prime Ticket fight fans as 2 scrappers, Jorge Diaz and Jorge Ramirez, go toe-to-toe. The Stroh's tournament rolls on. See it with all its two-fisted excitement Monday on Prime Ticket.
Kings come back to center. Possible 2-on-1. Robitaille left wing. He shoots. He scores! Chicago with again power play. Murray in front to Secord, and a great save by Melanson. Pass ahead to Erickson. Erickson and Robitaille. Erickson shoots, safe. Robitaille scores!
The loquacious Frank Layden brings his Utah Jazz into the Forum Tuesday night for another go at the world champion Lakers. Last visit in January didn't work out too well for the visitors, so they're back for more. Join Prime Ticket live at the Forum as the Lakers meet the Jazz.
Every day I'm trying harder. My goal is pleasing you.
When you rent a car from Avis, it comes with a lot of people who want to make sure you're satisfied. Reservation and counter people, mechanics, managers and maintenance people. They're Avis. You may not always see them, but they're there. Rent a Cadillac Seville from Avis for only $45 a day.
Some copiers don't adjust for exposure. Some don't adjust for odd size originals. Some give you copies after they run out of toner. But the Sharp business copiers automatically adjust for exposure, paper size, and turn off when they run out of toner. The Sharp Advanced Business Copiers. They won't turn your work into garbage. For more information, call 1-800-BE-SHARP.
LA Kings leading the Chicago Blackhawks 7-3, end of 2 periods of play. Let's take a look now at how the Kings took the lead, even extended their lead in the second period. Here's Jimmy Carson with a long pass from Contos, comes down the right side, slap shot beats Pang, and at the 49-second mark, that made the score 5-1 Kings. After Graham scored for Chicago, Bobby Carpenter gets one for L.A. Laughlin brought the puck down. He flipped it back to Carpenter. Look at him drive to the net. He goes right around Ben Wilson, puts the puck into the net at 12:33. That made it 6-2. Then after Wilson scored, Luke Robitaille gets his 47th for the King. Here comes the shot from Denny Larocque, but Robitaille right in front manages to tip it in, and at 14:21, the Kings led 7-3. That's the way the second period ended. Let's go back now for the third period of action. Bob and Nick.
7-3, the Kings are in front. The night belonging to Jimmy Carson, who has 50 goals plus one, a hat trick tonight, 51 on the season.
Well, Bernie Nichols is with us. He's got one more game to sit out after this. I know you're enjoying this, Bernie, but I know you want to be back out on the ice. What are you doing to stay fit, ready for your return?
Not too much, Bob. I just started skating a couple days ago, and it doesn't take much to get back in shape. When you played all season like I have, it doesn't. I think the rest will really help, and hopefully going in the playoffs, I should be well rested.
Bernie Nichols commenting on his situation. He's been off for about a week and a half. 7-3, the Kings. They have outshot Chicago 31-26, but the Blackhawks had some good chances in that second period as they tried to get back in it. Kings have won some big face-offs tonight that have led to goals. 21 face-off wins L.A., 13 for Chicago. Penalties, 10 Chicago, 29 minutes, 8 L.A., 25 minutes. And on the power play, the Kings a couple of more, 2 of 3, and they've shut down the Blackhawks, who are 0 for 3. Carson and Carpenter have the power play goals for the Kings tonight.
Again, a reminder that tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., playoff tickets go on sale. Strip tickets, that's for every possible playoff game, and individual tickets available. Forum box office starting at 10 a.m. And the individual game tickets for the first 2 games here at the Forum, April 9th and 10th, available at the Forum box office as well as Ticketmaster. So you can get your playoff plans made tomorrow as the Kings will take on the Calgary Flames in the opening game of the opening series of the playoffs.
Well, Steve Larmer still has a minute 45 to serve on his penalty assessed towards the end of that second period. So the Kings will be working on their 4th power play opportunity tonight. The Blackhawks, each period, have taken a penalty late, and the Kings have come out early to score. Carson scored early in the second when Sutter was in the box, and Larmer off for holding at 19:45, which carries over. Darren Pang, a busy goaltender as he usually is. Here, Bob Mason, every game seemed to face more than their share of shots, but he's been beaten 7 times tonight. Kings with a power play, third period. Here's Bob.
And to center ice, Steve Duchesne for the Kings fires it into the Chicago zone. It came off the boards for the front of the net. Darren Pang backhands it to the blue line, and leaping in the air was Duchesne, but he couldn't keep it onside. Now Condos at center, gave it to Jimmy Carson. He can't hold it. Troy Murray for Chicago drives it off the boards down into the Kings zone where Chris Conto's back to get it. 5 assists in the game tonight for Contos. He gets it up to Jimmy Carson. He's got 3 goals tonight. Carson with 51 on the year to Robitaille. He's got 46 on the year. Robitaille shooting, steered away by Pang and up out of play. Into the crowd with 19:21 to go, third period.
Well, we talked about Dave Taylor and what a great impact he has had on this club, this franchise, in his 11 years in Los Angeles. 13 assists in his last 14 games, 10 points in his last 6. He's probably been the steadiest and most effective forward in the second half. Before he went down with his knee injury, Jimmy Fox was on top of his game, but Dave Taylor, as we mentioned earlier, for many seasons with Simmer and Taylor and Dion and Simmer, I should say, and they had 50-plus goals, and Taylor was a part of that, and Dave a big part of Carson's 50-plus goals this year.
Now the Kings with it. Here is Craig Duncanson, just recalled from New Haven. He gives it to Laughlin up the middle of Bourne in front of Duncanson, but he spun around and didn't get a good shot. Puck comes around the right wing board. Chicago zone. Kings in the power play for another 51 seconds. Kings with a 7-3 lead. Puck is behind the Chicago net. Laughlin goes for there. He gets bumped. Puck is against the left wing boards, and now trying to hold it in is Bourne, and he does, but taken away by Chicago's Troy Murray. He gets knocked down, and or it was Ludzik who got knocked down. The puck is picked up by Duncanson in front of Carpenter with a drive, and it's blocked by Gary Nyland. Sliding right up the slot, Nyland knocked down the shot by Carpenter, and we'll have a face-off here in the third period with 27 seconds left to go in the Kings power play.
Well, the Kings haven't really gotten this power play set up. They've been some good work along the boards, and finally out of the pack, it is centered by Duncanson. Right to Carpenter, tries to shoot off the pass, but big Gary Nyland, when he goes down and stretches out like that, he's 6'4", 220 to start. He's an awesome target, and it's tough for that puck to get through when Nyland goes down to block a shot. Kings, with the whistle, will change up the power play unit, which has just 27 seconds left. Gary Nyland, number 22, in his second season with the Chicago Blackhawks.
Kings have Allison out at center with Fair and Duguay on the wings. And Duchesne to the right point. He's got the puck, and he's got Eric Germain at the blue line. Germain with a drive in front to Duguay. He gets held. No penalty against Keith Brown, who had Duguay tied up pretty well. And the Blackhawks clear it back into the Kings zone. Chased down by Germain. He's knocked down from behind, and he slashes at Noonan. They both going to go?
No, I don't think so. I think Noonan hit Germain, and Germain fell on top of the Chicago Blackhawk center, Noonan, and slashed him on top of the helmet. Power play coming up in a few seconds. 7-3 Kings. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
Us musicians like to think the best light beer is the one we drink. And every rapping cat I know drinks Miller Lite. Ain't that so? Taste flavor, let's fill it. Taste flavor, let's fill it. Life's got body, life's got soul. Don't stop me now, I'm on a roll. Get it right, there's only one light beer from Miller Lite.
Eric Germain, just recalled, 21-year-old defenseman. First NHL penalty, slashing. And it happened right behind the Kings net. Germain, wearing jersey number 4, chased the puck. He reversed it on the far side. Then he was hit as he lost his balance by Noonan. And then he came off the boards and swung his stick, and it clipped Noonan on the back of the helmet. In 11 seconds, when Ludzik comes out, the Kings will be a man shy.
Kings have a 7-3 lead here in the third period. We're early in the third period. Puck taken by the Blackhawks. Up to center, here's Keith Brown. Shovels it ahead to Dennis Savard. Savard across the line, moves to the left side. Top of the circle, still with it now. Stick handles, double team, taken away by Duchesne. He gives it to Allison. Allison up to center. Allison now throws it back into the King zone to Laidlaw. He gives it over on the right side to Duchesne. Duchesne up to Bourne, and Bourne tips it back across the Chicago blue line. 1:26 left to go in the Blackhawk power play. Pass taken away at center ice. Kings with it. Here is Duchesne giving it on the left side, but offside, and a shot anyway right of the whistle. But the Kings were offside. Paul Fenton got the shot, but offside called against the Kings.
Trent Yawney has been a regular member of the Blackhawk defense since joining them off the Canadian Olympic Club, wearing jersey number 8, a third-round pick by the Blackhawks a few years back. Picked up 9 points in his short while in Chicago, and they look for big things from Trent Yawney. 12th game, 9 points, Played a lot on the power play when he first joined them. Got a good shot, good size, good skating ability. He had a good Olympic swing with the Canadian club.
Now Chris Condos out for the Kings on the faceoff, but a whistle on an offside, and they'll do it again. Faceoff just outside the Chicago blue line. Kings have Contos up front with Paul Fenton. Now they're going to change up on the penalty killing unit. They'll send out Bob Bourne and Mike Allison.
Darren Pang, not that big, but he's had a very effective rookie season in the NHL. And as you mentioned earlier, Bob, Darren Pang, a fan favorite in Chicago. 5'5", 155 pounds. He has 17 of the Blackhawk wins this year.
Now to center. Here's Savard. Shovels it on the left side. Blackhawks drive it into the Kings zone. Larmer drives it around to Noonan. Noonan right wing side. He's bumped by Laidlaw. Puck is back behind the net. Larmer feeds it out to the blue line. Here's Trent Yawny. Over to Savard to the right point to Yawny. Yawny top of the slot. He shoots. Blocked on the way in. It came off of the Hawks' Rick Vive and is cleared by the Kings back down into the Chicago zone. 43 seconds left to go in the power play for the Blackhawks. Kings have a 7-3 lead. Here's Savard, right wing side. Savard shoots, saved by Healy. Rebound taken by Denny Larocque. Larocque kicks it over on the right side, and it's cleared up ahead to center. Chased down by Bourne. He may have a break with the goaltender. Pang comes out and gets to it first. Pang sweeps it around the boards. 20 seconds left to go in the Chicago power play. Here's Rick Vive at center ice. Vive across the King line, dropped it back for Savard. Savard top of the slot. Savard with 10 seconds to go on the power play. Now down the middle. Troy Murray fanned on his shot. Walked right down the slot. Fanned on his shot, and the puck cleared by Duchesne ahead to Bourne. Bourne looks for help and finds it. Gives it on the right side to Taylor. Taylor driving Chicago zone. Spins in the corner. Kings in the line change. They're back at full strength. Puck comes over to Jimmy Carson. He's got 3 goals tonight. Carson in front and shot wide by Fair. Fair right side goes behind the net. Fair with it again, gives it to Dave Taylor. Taylor right wing corner, bumped there by Troy Murray. Ben Wilson for Chicago, cleared it by Denny Larocque, and it's chased by Laidlaw into the Kings zone. Laidlaw for the Kings clears it up to center ice. Referee got tied up in the play, and offside Chicago at the King line. Kings have a 7-3 lead. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
You know, when you're on the road, you need to pay attention to the signs. But if you're a new car shopper, these are the signs it pays to look for. Because the Southern California Chevrolet Dealer Association's $10,000 every 10-day sweepstakes could be your ticket to winning $10,000. Now, there's a winner every 10 days. To enter, you just see your participating dealer and you test drive any new Chevy, car, truck, or van. Now, there's no obligation and there's nothing to buy. So look for these signs where you see this sign.
7-3 Kings, 15:58 left here in the third period. Again, the Kings are playoff bound. They'll meet Calgary in the first round. All the playoff pairings are set now in the Smythe division with the Flames defeating Vancouver earlier this evening. The Kings will play Calgary, and it will be Winnipeg and Edmonton.
Now up at center ice, Kings with it. Here's Paul Fenton ahead to Robitaille. Luke's got a goal tonight. Gives it to Fenton. Chicago zone in the slot, but couldn't hang on to it. Kind of got mixed up with Contos there, and Darren Pang covers it up. Nick, even though the Kings have clinched a playoff spot, the next 2 games are going to mean something because the Kings will be playing Calgary home and home, and that's the team they're going to play in the playoffs. Kings came across the blue line, and as Fenton got it, he and Contos kind of got mixed up a little bit, and it rolled toward Pang, and he covered it up. So it's not like there's nothing to play for down the stretch here. I'm sure the Kings and the Flames are going to want to show each other that there's a little domination there by one team or the other.
And after tonight, you look at the regular season for the Kings. Left 3 games, 2 with Calgary, and the first round, which will go at least 4 games. So the Kings are looking at playing Calgary in 6 of their next 7 games, but both clubs will get a good line on each other before it really begins a week from Wednesday.
Now the Blackhawks in their own zone. They start to come out with 15:30 to go, third period. Kings ahead 7-3. Puck driven down into the Kings zone by Troy Murray on the right wing side. Presley to the blue line, and Bergevin can't hold it in. Comes all the way back into the Chicago zone, and we're going to get an icing call here as the Kings are called for icing, and they'll bring it back into the Kings zone to face off. Bob Miller with Nick Nixon. Bob Murdoch behind the Chicago bench has seen happier times in this building, that's for sure.
Well, they got off to that ragged start. Of course, they played last night in Vancouver. They chartered here to Los Angeles. got in about 3 in the morning, but the Kings were all over Chicago in that first period. Wayne Thomas, one of 2 assistants for Bob Murdoch, to his left on the bench, and up in the press box is former Blackhawk Darryl Sutter.
Wayne Thomas has really slimmed down. When he was a goaltender at the University of Wisconsin, his nickname was Captain Calorie. He packed a few more pounds in those years. From the right point, a shot by Brown of Chicago is blocked on the way in. That was back around 1969 and 70.
I don't know if there's a more quiet individual in hockey that I have met than Wayne Thomas. Real nice guy, but boy, is he quiet.
They'll bring the faceoff back down into the King zone. Darren Pang's had a pretty good artist on his mask. He's got almost like a Indian headband on the top of that mask.
I would doubt if anybody but Pang put that on the helmet. Most goaltenders that I am aware of since they started going to the colorful helmet mask combinations do their own artwork. I remember goaltenders with the Rangers used to have the Empire State Building on their mask. Really?
Puck taken by Trent Yawney. He drives it around the boards, and it is still in the King zone and not cleared. Held in by Brian Noonan. Noonan, top of the slot to the left side. A shot from there, just tipped wide as Keith Brown got the shot. Both teams at full strength. Kings clear it to center. 14:45 left to go in the third period, and the Kings have a 7-3 lead. Now Craig Laughlin rolls it across the Chicago line. Blackhawks break it up. Up to center ice. Here's Noonan. Noonan. His pass broken up by Laughlin. He clears it back to center. Kings with 7 goals here tonight, leading 7-3. Jimmy Carson with 3, and he has 51 on the year. As we said earlier, in case you have just joined us, only the second U.S.-born player to get 50 in a year, second youngest player ever to get 50 in a season. Now the right point, Kings hold it in, but pass taken away and cleared by the Hawks to center ice, where it's broken up by Laidlaw. Laidlaw for the Kings sends it into the Chicago zone. Now Gary Nyland to center. Nyland fires it in. The Blackhawks have lost 4 in a row, 1 win in their last 6. Duguay ties up 5 in the corner, and the puck behind the King net taken by Mike Allison. Allison ahead to Duguay. Duguay to center. He's got Bourne with him. 2-on-1. Duguay right wing. He shoots wide to the left side. Duguay unloaded from the right wing. Puck taken by Laidlaw. Laidlaw's drive to the Chicago line broken up by Nyland. Nyland had checked Duguay into the board, so Nyland now drives it down into the King zone. Here is the puck in the right wing corner of the King zone, and Fair gets bumped hard. Puck comes up to Duguay, now to center, 3-on-3. Here is Denny LaRocque of the Kings, rolls it into the Chicago zone. Bergevin back to get it, drops it off for Manson. Kings have Jimmy Carson out. Taylor and Fair, the wingers up front. Back come the Blackhawks. Here's Savard at center. Savard gives it to Dirk Graham. He shoots, and a save off the blocker by Healy. Puck taken by the Kings. Duchesne with it now with 13 minutes to go, third period. Duchesne to the red line, into the Chicago zone. Duchesne to the right point, still with it. His pass in deep into the corner. Blackhawks will play it. Puck taken by Mark Bergevin. Up to the blue line on the left side to Everett Santapass, who had a goal long ago back in the first period, Chicago's first goal of the night. Now Dave Taylor with it, and we've got a penalty.
Yeah, Kenny Baumgartner is going to go for riding one of the Blackhawks through the crease behind Healy and into the boards, and everybody a little slow in getting up. The Blackhawks now coming to the aid of their fallen teammate. I couldn't tell who it was because once Baumgartner draped himself all over the Blackhawk player, he wasn't about ready to get up, and Denny Morrell saw it all the way, and he's going to call Baumgartner here at 7:18.
I think it might be Dave Manson, who was in deep for Chicago and had a couple of scraps earlier in the game. 12:42 to go here in the third period. The Kings seemingly have things well in hand with a 7-3 lead. We'll be right back. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
For a lot of years, Great Western's helped folks find the promise of the West. Today, their new brand of banking takes care of checking, savings, loans, insurance, retirement plans, real estate, even stock brokerage. And with over $28 billion in assets, Great Western will be there to help. They've been helping the West grow since it was just a patch of desert.
Kenny Baumgartner is going to get the penalty for roughing here at 7:18 in the third period. So the Blackhawks will go on the power play. Ludzik was the Blackhawk that was dumped to the ice, and then Baumgartner was very slow in getting up, roughed him up, hit him on the side of the helmet. The linesmen come in, a couple of other Blackhawks and Kings. So what this means is the Kings are shy a skater. Kings without a shot here in the period, Bob. We played over 7 minutes, but they just want to prevent Chicago from getting any sustained offense, because really the game is well in hand. Just prevent Chicago from getting those outnumbered attacks and make sure at least one forward is back to help out from here on out.
Kings drive it back behind the Chicago net. Darren Pang cuts it off there. Blackhawks on the power play. Dirk Graham can't hold it at center, taken away by Eric Germain. King power, or penalty killing unit, I should say, is Bourne up front with Allison. Chicago with it now. Laidlaw back with Germain on defense. Puck comes over on the right wing side. Germain throws a check there, gets the puck, rolled it off the side of the net, held in by Dirk Graham of Chicago. He put it behind the net. Germain poked it away, and the Kings will try to clear it, and they do, as Bob Bourne plays it off the boards back into the Chicago zone. 12 minutes left to go in the third period. Kings with a 7-3 lead. Now at center ice, Duguay throws a check, but Keith Brown drives it down into the Kings zone. Puck comes around to Dirk Graham. Graham on the left side. His pass taken away by Duguay. He's got a man breaking to center. Here is Lyle Fair, 2-on-2 with Duguay. Fair shoots wide to the right side as Fair unloaded from the left wing. Blackhawks come back. Here's Wayne Presley across the line with Noonan. Dropped it to Noonan, but he didn't get it, and Duguay clears it for the Kings back into the Chicago zone.
Well, again, on the power play, the Blackhawks are having trouble getting things set up. They've only had one good power play chance all night, and this is their 5th man advantage.
Now Savard, right side, pulls it in deep, goes into the corner. Savard with it behind the King net with Steve Larmer. He gives it to Larmer. Larmer's pass in the corner. Blackhawks hold it in play. Here's Rick Vive. Vive out to the blue line on the left side to Trent Yawney. Now back over, and a shot from the left side is knocked down. Savard shot, then Savard gets knocked down. Here's Yawney to Savard. Savard with it. His pass deflected back to him, but now he gives it away to Bob Bourne. Bourne gives it to Allison, and he clears it.
Well, the Blackhawks moving the puck along the perimeter. Nobody else doing much moving, and the Kings just staying in their box defense, and with aggressive play on the far side, they force a bad play.
Now Vive, right wing, Kings zone. Kings are back at full strength. Baumgartner out of the penalty box. Puck comes over to the Kings. Here's Paul Fenton ahead to center, but out of reach of Chris Kontos. Kontos stays after it and has it. Right wing side, Chicago zone. Into Fenton. Fenton behind the net, bumped by Yawney. Yawney ties up Fenton. The puck is held against the boards. Blackhawk Steve Larmer tried to dig it out from behind. Now Noonan with it. Now Larmer comes out for Chicago. Larmer to center to the red line. Flips a bouncer wide of the King net. 10-10 to go, third period. 7-3 Kings.
Chicago, part of the reason why they're not closer, special teams. They've allowed 2 power play goals to the Kings, Carson and Carpenter. And when they've had 5 power plays, Bob, they've only had 2 shots on goal.
Puck is back behind the King net, off the stick of Glenn Healy. Taken on the left wing side by rookie defenseman Eric Germain. Ahead to Robitaille. Cleared to the center, but the Hawks break it up. Manson's pass stolen by Robitaille. Kings with it. Robitaille at the blue line to Carpenter, and an offside. 9:41 to go, third period. Kings 7, Blackhawks 3. Let's pause for station identification. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
The Lakers take to the Forum Hardwood for another Western Conference confrontation with the Utah Jazz. Follow the world champions this Tuesday at 7:15 only on Prime Ticket.
9:41 left, third period, and the faceoff will be outside the Chicago blue line.
Yeah, not a lot of offense here in the third period. 2 shots, both by Chicago. Blackhawks have had a couple of power plays. Kings had an early power play, but all the pressure is on Chicago. Again, the Kings just have to make sure they don't give up an outnumbered attack, make sure one guy is back to help out defensively and prevent Chicago from getting that pressure on, that sustained pressure.
Now the Blackhawks in the King zone. Duchesne throws a check, but Dirk Graham digs it out for the Hawks. Here's Graham up the middle of Ben Wilson. Fakes a shot, now moves in deep. He's tripped, and a penalty coming up. Craig Duncanson will go to the penalty box. Ben Wilson was trying to walk right down the slot. Would have had a pretty good chance, and Duncanson pulled his feet out from behind.
Well, the Blackhawks failed on 2 previous power plays this period, and they'll go right back on it. This penalty at 10:45. Craig Duncanson recalled, left winger, former first-round pick, playing in New Haven most of this year. Ben Wilson, a nice little stick-handling maneuver, and Duncanson got his stick right between the knees, and down went former Flyer Ben Wilson. So Craig Duncanson, 21 years old. This is his 4th stint in Los Angeles. He started the season with the Kings, and after 8 games went down to New Haven. Bob Murdoch trying to figure out the power play. Of course, he and Bob Johnson, for the last 5 years before this season started, really got the Calgary Flames power play up among the league's best. And the Flames this year, the carryover with Johnson and Murdoch both gone, they still have the best power play in the NHL. And a lot of the things that we saw over the years in Calgary, we've seen for the most part this year in Chicago. But I think one of their assets on the power play they're missing, of course, and that is Doug Wilson, out for the second half with shoulder surgery.
Now on the draw, Chicago with it as Noonan has it at the blue line. Noonan gives it on the right side. Shot by Larmer off the pass. Saved by Healy. Rebound. Another save by Healy on the shot by Rick Vive. And the puck taken by Bob Bourne. Bourne clears it to center. To Allison. To Bourne. Looking for a short-hander. Bourne shooting wide to the left. Now the puck brought by Chicago to center ice with 1:36 to go in the power play. Here's Rick Vive on the right wing. Vive bumped by Baumgartner. They get their arms and sticks up. Now in the corner, Baumgartner knocks Vive down. Here's a penalty coming up.
Well, they're going to get somebody. Is it Baumgartner again? He got his stick up with Rick Vive as he tried to muscle him into the corner. And Baumgartner is going to go, it looks like. And the Blackhawks will have a 2-man advantage. 7-3 Kings. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
Hi, I'm Kirk Curran. You know I usually cheer for the world champion Lakers. But now I'm cheering for a new champ. Discount Tire Centers, now California's #1 Michelin dealer. You see, because we purchase more Michelins than any other independent dealer, you get guaranteed lowest prices and complete customer satisfaction. You'll never get a better deal anywhere. So hurry on down to Discount Tire Centers and cheer for the new champ. Right, girls?
Discount Tire Centers, all the way!
Yeah, Discount Tire Centers, now California's #1 Michelin dealer.
Kenny Baumgartner upset that he is getting 2 for roughing as he roughed up Rick Vive. Vive carries the puck down the right side. He's bumped the first time. Then the second time on the side of the helmet. He wears the shield, does Vive. Then a third time he got the stick up. Knocked him to the ice. Vive is down, and Baumgartner will skate away, but he looks at the referee, and he was caught on one of those 3 times for roughing. 2-man advantage, Chicago for 1:25.
And on the draw, Kings have a 4-goal lead with 8:37 to go, third period. Left side, moving in. Trent Yawney shoots. Blocked, rebound shot wide by Vive, who was down on one knee. Out to the right point. Here's Savard with it. 2-man advantage for Chicago to Trent Yawney. To Savard. To Yawney. Yawney, top of the circle, left side. Now Savard's pass in deep, and shot by Larmer, and he scores. Steve Larmer on the right side as the Hawks really started to move it around. And Larmer put it in for a power play goal with a 2-man advantage, and it's the Kings 7, Chicago 4. Well, Larmer did a great job to set up Vive off to the right of Healy, but Vive missed it somehow. Larmer right through the top of the slot, and Vive just fanned partially on it, but he kept right on the puck. He got it to Larmer, who put it in off the left arm, the catching glove arm of Glenn Healy for the goal. So for Larmer, that will be his 37th. 19th power play goal, which leads the club. Vive will pick up at least 1 assist. On the point, Yawney and Savard were working with it, and then finally they got it to Larmer to shoot off the pass, and that sequence started the eventual scoring play. Dennis Savard with an assist on it, also for Chicago, and now they've got a 1-man advantage. Here's Dirk Graham driving behind the King net, out to the blue line. Held in by Ben Wilson to the right point to Keith Brown. 1:28 to go on the power play. Chicago trying to pull it in 2. Ben Wilson shooting, and it hit the side of the net. Puck is picked up behind the net now by Wayne Presley. His pass broken up by Allison. 2-on-1. Allison with Bourne. Looking for a short-hander. Allison down the right wing to Bourne. In front, he shoots. Saved by Darren Pang. And he dives to get the rebound off the boards. 2-on-1, and Bourne got stopped by Pang. Chicago still on the power play. Puck comes down into the King zone. Good check thrown by Denny Larocque. Presley centers it for Chicago. Broken up, not cleared by Allison. Now driven to the right point, held in by Brown. Chicago, Ben Wilson shooting, tipped wide. Rebound to Keith Brown. 45 seconds to go on the power play. Brown in deep. Brown puts it behind the net. It comes loose over to Paul Fenton of the Kings, and he clears it to center. Well, we mentioned Dean Kennedy
is in uniform but hasn't played. The Kings going with 5 defensemen on a regular basis, and you have to wonder with all these penalties in the third period if fatigue is now a factor. Blackhawks putting on tremendous pressure.
Here's Savard on the power play to Noonan. King zone. Noonan top of the slot. He shoots, deflected wide. Now in front, 5. Can't get a shot. Cleared by the Kings, Chris Kontos. 13 seconds left to go in the penalty to Baumgartner. The Kings a man shy, but they still have a 3-goal lead. Here is Larmer. Over to Yanni. Left side shot by Savard. Blocked and just out of the reach of Larmer. Coming down the right side. Kings are back at full strength. 6:25 to go, third period. Kings 7, Blackhawks 4. If the Hawks get the next one, they're going to get some some life pumped into them here and maybe think they can tie it up. Now here is Savard at the left point. His pass to the blue line, taken away by Lyle Fair. 3-on-2 for the Kings. Here's Fair, gives it to Carson, right wing. Carson with 3 goals tonight, drives behind the Chicago net. Carson is slashed. Here's a penalty against Chicago for slashing. And Manson knocks Carson down at center ice. Baumgartner turns Manson around. Carson was slashed, and a penalty is coming up against Chicago. It was a delayed call. And let's see who's going to go to the penalty box.
Well, I think Manson is going to go. Of course, he's been in 2 altercations already tonight. But he goes to the box for slashing Carson. 7-4 Kings. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
Introducing the Lisa McDougall copier, the Bill Stevens copier, the Tom DeLuca copier.
Sharp introduces the Z70, the compact copier you can call your own. It enlarges and reduces, copies in 5 different colors, works where you work, is easy to use and easy to maintain.
The John Eastwood copier.
The affordable Z70, one of the new Sharp copiers you can call your own.
Dave Manson slashing at 13:58 here in the third period. The Kings will go on the power play. The Blackhawks trying to get back in this thing with a lot of power plays here in the third. Carson carrying the puck, one-handing a pass out front, but right as he did that, he took a two-hander across the left arm from Manson. Power play for the Kings. This year against Chicago, the Kings are 6 of 16, 37.5% again on the season. The Kings have been in the middle of the pack, and their percentage is 20.
Chris Kondos out for the Kings. 5 assists in the game tonight. He wins the draw. He's got Taylor and Robitaille up front with him. Carson's at the left point of the power play. Duchesne on the right side. Here's another penalty to Chicago. Kings are going to have a 2-man advantage for a long time as the Blackhawks' Keith Brown drives the puck around the boards. Kings are going to have a 2-man advantage for 1:48. With 5:50 to go in the third period. Kings lead at 7-4, and this game is coming to you live from the fabulous Forum.
Kings Hockey is brought to you by Miller Lite. For great taste, there's only one light beer, Miller Lite, and by Discount Tire Centers. All 75 locations are celebrating the grand opening of their newest location on Del Amo Boulevard in Lakewood with special prices on selected Michelin tires. Discount Tire Centers.
Well, Steve Ludzik is going to the penalty box to join Manson, slashing this call at 14:10. And you have to wonder if it was right off the draw between Ludzik and Jimmy Carson. And if that's the case, the Blackhawks slash Carson twice and get 2 penalties and give the Kings a 2-man advantage for 1:48. Ludzik, number 29, veteran forward in the box. Kings are in front 7-4 on Jimmy Carson's night. The second American-born player, second youngest in NHL history to get 50 goals. He's done it in great fashion with the hat trick. He now has 51 on the season.
Now the Kings with a great chance to make no doubt about this one. They have a 3-goal lead at 7-4 with 5:50 to go, but now 2-man advantage and a face-off in the Chicago zone. Kontos will take the draw for the Kings. He's got Taylor up front along with Robitaille. Here's Kontos with it. Goes behind the Chicago net. Kontos feeds it to the blue line. Duchesne with room sends it on the right side, and a shot from there is tipped by Kontos in midair, but we're tipped by Robitaille after Kontos shot it. Now what do we got in front here?
Well, I think we're going to get a high sticking penalty. Now in front was Yanni. Battling for position was Dave Taylor, and sticks were up, and well, I just don't know what Morrell is signaling. He's doing everything but making the obvious call. The action is in front of goaltender Darren Pang. Now, Troy Murray, Yanni, and Dave Taylor are all there. Taylor's being checked from behind, roughed up by Brown. Pang gets involved. Brown is really roughing up Taylor, who got his stick up. It clipped Taylor on the side of the helmet. And I don't know from where the faceoff is going to be, Bob, in the Kings zone. Apparently the Kings are being called for knocking it down with a stick above the shoulder, knocking the puck down, that is, with a stick above the shoulder.
Yeah, that's what it is. So they'll move it back into the Chicago zone to face off. But you're right, the first couple of indications by Dennis Morrell, he looked like a third base coach telling him whether to take or steal or bunt or whatever he was doing there. And finally gave the signal that it was knocked down with a high stick. Kings with a two-man advantage for 1:31, and we've got 5:33 to go, third period. Puck taken by the Kings on the draw, and Jimmy Carson leads it over on the right side to Dave Taylor. Now to Duchesne, now to Taylor. Taylor down the right side into the Chicago zone. Robitaille is there. Taylor kicks it along the boards. He's got Carson down in the corner. He gets it to Carson. Now back on the right side to Taylor. Kings with a two-man advantage. Up the middle to Duchesne. Over down the left side to Contos. To Duchesne. Duchesne sweeps it right side in the circle to Taylor. Taylor with a two-man advantage. Waits there. Taylor stick handles in. Now his pass on the right side. Penalty again as Contos gets knocked down. Penalty against Chicago. Left side. Here is Taylor with it. Kings with a two-man advantage. So this delayed penalty won't start till one of the others is ended. Now behind the net. Kings still with it on the delayed call. Here's Robitaille, right side to the blue line to Carpenter. Carpenter, left side. Duchesne, right side, shot wide by Robitaille. The Kings actually with a three-man advantage now because they pulled the goaltender on the delayed penalty. Shot scored, tipped in. Jimmy Carson may have tipped it, or Chris Contos in front. With a two-man advantage, the Kings have scored again and now lead 8-4. And they're going to have another two-man advantage.
No, Bob, that delayed penalty will not be called because of the goal. So one of the penalties up there will expire. The Kings work it back to the point. Steve Duchesne. Duchesne just lifts one in front. Now two Kings are there, Carson and Contos. Who got a piece of it? I think maybe Carson got his stick on it. We'll wait for the official call. The goal at 15:25. If Carson gets it, well, here's the call.
Scoring his third goal and 17th point. Scored by number 33, Chris Contos.
Well, they're going to give it to Contos, which means Chris Contos has tied another club record for points in a game. So what a game for Chris Contos, who was just recalled from New Haven. A goal right there, along with 5 assists earlier.
Duchesne and Taylor with the assists on it. Kings now with a one-man advantage. That's right, I forgot about that delayed penalty not going to be called. So on a play like that, Chicago wipes out 2 penalties. Here's Lachlan, left side, he shoots, saved by Pang, rebound, score! Bobby Carpenter! His second of the game and 19th of the year as Carpenter got a rebound on the left side, and he just batted it off the right side of the net, and the Kings now lead 9-4.
Well, Lachlan moved in at the top of the right circle and unloaded. Pang made the save, but Carpenter was right there to put in the rebound. The Kings scoring on the two-man advantage and then the one-man advantage for a 9-4 lead. 4:10 left, and Darren Pang, a busy goaltender tonight, has given up 9. He's made some good saves, but he faces too many shots night after night.
Now the Blackhawks are finally back at full strength. Puck taken by the Kings. Craig Duncanson at his own blue line sends it up to center ice. Broken up by Manson of Chicago with a drive and a save made by Healy. 3:44 remaining in the third period. 9-5 in favor of the Kings. Puck is cleared out to center ice and chased down by 9-4, I should say. Cleared out to center by Dan Vincelette. Kings intercept. Allison with a shot deflected up over the glass. And Bergevin limping around for Chicago.
Well, let's recap those power play goals. The Kings now with 4 power play goals tonight. Chris Kontos making it 8-4 with a deflection. His 6th point of the game. 3rd goal for the Kings from Duchesne and Taylor. 15-25. And 6 points ties a club record shared by many. Most points in one game. It was last done by Bernie Nichols earlier this year at Buffalo when Nichols had 3 goals and 3 assists, November 22nd of '87. Other players that have done it, Marcel Dion, Sil Apps, and Butch Goring.
Now the Kings with a LaRocque with a drive. Kings have scored the most goals in a game this season with 9 here tonight. Puck is still in the Blackhawks zone. Pass in front, tipped away by Darren Pang. Kings tried to get it to Robitaille. Blackhawks with a 3-on-2 working. Across the line, down the right side is Santa-Pass. Santa-Pass pumped in the corner by Eric Germain. Now Robitaille battles with Vive. Puck comes loose to Vive for Chicago. His pass broken up. Kings with it. Kontos, nice tip over on the right side of Robitaille. And behind the play, we've got Eric Germain and Everett Santa-Pass of Chicago wrapped up in a battle. So the rookie Germain of the Kings, in his first recall from New Haven up here, is tied up with Santa-Pass in more of a wrestling match than anything else so far. Now Germain knocks Santa-Pass' helmet off. As this fight broke out, we had Robitaille coming to center one-on-one, but the whistle blew because of the scrap behind the play.
Germain trying to get in some left jabs as they now move along the left boards. The linesman waiting for an opportune time to separate them. They're in tight. It's very tough for either combatant to get any thrust behind a punch. But now Santa-Pass and Germain, and I think Germain got in the last one.
I guess he did. He knocked him flat on his back. Looked like Germain got away from one punch, and then he whacked Santa-Pass and knocked him down.
You got to like the way these kids are responding. They've been recalled. They've played regularly. Robbie Fatorik not shy about playing these kids on a regular basis. A lot of injuries, and guys like LaRocque and Germain and Baumgartner, you can't say that they're not getting involved. They're getting their nose dirty quickly.
2:56 to go here in the 3rd period. Kings 9, Blackhawks on their way to their 5th straight loss. They have only 4 goals tonight.
So they're done for the night. Santa-Pass cutting to the outside of Germain. Germain just rode him into the boards in the corner to the left of goaltender Glenn Healy. They roughed each other up. Then they looked at each other. We got the whistle. They got sticks up. And finally, they dropped the gloves and went at it. So penalties, 5 minutes each for fighting here at 17:04. The early part of it was a wrestling match. The linesman let them go for a while, and then finally a couple of punches were landed, I guess. Well, big night for a lot of forwards, in particular Jimmy Carson and Chris Kontos. Of the 9 goals, Carson has 3 of them. Kontos has a goal and 5 assists. Bobby Carpenter, who was mired in a horrendous second-half slump, has broken a 14-game scoreless drought with 2 goals here tonight.
Now at center ice, both teams still at full strength, but only 2:45 to go in the game. The Kings will win. Oh, look out now. We've got penalties behind the play. We've got Baumgartner and Troy Murray swinging their sticks at one another, and look out.
Baumgartner wants to take on 2 Blackhawks.
Dwayne Sutter has a hold of Baumgartner.
Brown not too pleased with Christensen, Bob, holding him away.
I think Denny Morrell had just better send a few people to the locker room early here and get some tempers cooled down. There's no longer any doubt about who's going to win the game. The Kings are ahead 9-4 on a night when they have clinched a playoff spot. Baumgartner goes back over to where he has spent much of the game in the penalty box.
Yeah, I think this is his 5th penalty, a major, and either his 4th or 5th minor.
Remember, next Wednesday night, the Calgary Flames will be here, the final regular season home game. It'll come your way on KLAC Radio, starting with our pregame talk show at 10 minutes to 7, and there are tickets available for that game in the Forum box office and all Ticketmaster outlets.
So Baumgartner for elbowing, his 3rd minor of the period, his 4th of the game, along with a fighting major with Graham at the end of the 2nd period. So with Baumgartner off, Germain has gone for the game with a fighting major. It's a good thing there's only 2:42 left. because the Kings are down on defense to Duchesne, Laidlaw, and LaRocque. That's it.
Faceoff will be in the Kings zone. 9-4, Kings leading the Blackhawks. Faceoff will be to the right of King goaltender Glenn Healy. And the Blackhawks control it. This is not the most goals Chicago's given up this year. They allowed 12 earlier this season against the Red Wings in Detroit. Now the pass in deep in the King zone, comes behind the net and then is steered back out on the right wing side to the blue line to Noonan. Here's Noonan to Larmer. Larmer, his pass tipped by Duchesne. Blackhawks on the power play. Here's Noonan at the blue line. 2:15 to go, third period. Noonan sends it right side, and partially fanning on it was Larmer. He shot it way wide, and the puck comes out to center ice.
Again, the Blackhawks, for the most part, have struggled with their power plays tonight, getting quality chances, but give the Kings credit. They're forcing the Blackhawks to work with the puck along the perimeter for the most part.
Now Noonan down the right side in the Kings zone, up the middle to Steve Larmer. Larmer's pass to Savard, now back to the blue line to Yanni, now to Noonan. 1:45 to go, third period. Kings ahead 9-4, Blackhawks with a man advantage. Here's Savard, left side, gives it back to Yanni. Trent Yanni gives it to Noonan. Noonan at the blue line, had it tipped for a moment, and the Hawks will try to hold it in. They can't do it. Bobby Carpenter got over to get his stick on it. Puck comes out to center. 1:29 left to go. Third period, offside, Chicago at the King blue line. Remember, we'll have our post-game show. Nick will be talking with one of the King players, and we'll have scores of other games around the league.
Rick Vive hasn't had a lot of scoring chances tonight. He's been out there on virtually every power play for the Blackhawks. He's upset, slams his stick down as he goes to the bench. It's been a frustrating night and a frustrating stretch of games for the Blackhawks with the playoffs upcoming. They're going to lose tonight. It'll be 5 straight losses. They've only scored 12 goals in those 5 games, and they've allowed 25. So they have to tighten up considerably if they're going to do anything with St. Louis in round 1.
Now the Blackhawks left side. Here's Ben Wilson. He gives it down along the boards on the left wing side to Dirk Graham. Back to Ben Wilson at the blue line. Back to Graham, left side. In deep to Sutter. Here is Sutter to the blue line to Keith Brown. Brown at the right point. Pass in front. Sutter knocked it down. Picked up by Laidlaw. 1 minute to go, third period. Laidlaw to Carson. Carson can't clear it. Ben Wilson holds it in. Chicago on a power play. 10 more seconds. At the right point, Brown to the left side to Ben Wilson. His pass to Graham to Wilson. He shoots. He scores. Ben Wilson got it from Dirk Graham. Power play goal. The power play had 4 seconds left in it. So Ben Wilson scores for the Blackhawks, getting his second of the game and 7th of the year. He fed it off to Dirk Graham, and then he headed into the slot, and Graham gave it right back to Ben Wilson, and the big defenseman picked the lower right-hand side. 1944, the time of the goal. Kings ahead by 4 at 9-5. 46 seconds remain. Bobby Carpenter out at center now. He's got Lachlan and Condos on the wings. Puck comes into the King zone. Taken by Lachlan. He cleared it to center. 36 seconds left to go here in the third period. Blackhawks send it back in. Dirk Graham can't get it. It's cleared by Duchesne out to center ice. 26 seconds left to go. Now the puck comes up to center ice. Picked up by Dirk Graham. 1914 the time of that goal here in the third period. Puck comes around behind the net to Denny LaRocque of the Kings. He gets bumped there. Dan Vincelette tried to get it for the Kings. Couldn't get it. Contos clears it. 4 seconds to go. And it is all over here at the Forum. So a big night for the Los Angeles Kings as they congratulate Glenn Healy and part of the over 14,000 fans here, 14,479, applauding as the Kings clinched a playoff spot. Vancouver lost earlier, but the Kings still went out and dominated this game as they defeat the Chicago Blackhawks 9-5 here at the Forum tonight. We'll be right back. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
Wednesday night could be a preview of the MISL's Western Division Final as the San Diego Sockers and last year's runner-up finalists, the Tacoma Stars, meet at the Tacoma Dome. Prime Ticket will carefully survey the contest. That's Wednesday night as San Diego meets Tacoma.
A shower of great events rains on Prime Ticket in April as John McEnroe and Stefan Edberg duel it out for the Michelin Tennis Challenge Championship. The Lakers close another spectacular season as they tune up for another World Championship run. Stroh's Fight Night at the Forum continues with thundering action and mayhem. Women's collegiate softball, including the prestigious pony tournament from Cal State Fullerton, and a look at the U.S. national soccer team in an exhibition match in Los Angeles. It all rains down in April on Prime Ticket. Thursday night, Pauley Pavilion will be rocking as the waves of Pepperdine and UCLA Bruins go head-to-head in volleyball. Remember the Kilgore Cup in January on Prime Ticket when they met? It was terrific, and more is planned, so be with us again. Pepperdine meets UCLA.
When I played hoops, I could beat anybody. Still can. Yo, cheap little one-on-one or what?
Get out of town, man.
Chicken! At least I can enjoy a Miller Lite while I'm looking for a game, right? How about you, Peanut? Wimp. Light tastes great, but these beanpoles probably drink it because it's less filling. Hey, yo, beanpole, you want to show me what you got? Tricks are easy. I'd like to get this turkey on the court.
It's no contest. There's only one light beer, Miller Lite.
Hi, I'm Chick Curran. You know I usually cheer for the world champion Lakers. But now I'm cheering for a new champ, Discount Tire Centers, now California's #1 Michelin dealer. You see, because we purchase more Michelins than any other independent dealer, you get guaranteed lowest prices and complete customer satisfaction. You'll never get a better deal anywhere. So hurry on down to Discount Tire Centers and cheer for the new champ. Right, girls?
Discount Tire Centers, all the way!
Yeah, Discount Tire Centers, now California's #1 Michelin dealer.
Bob Miller back with Nick Nixon live here at the Fabulous Forum. The Los Angeles Kings had a big night. They defeated the Chicago Blackhawks 9-5 in this game tonight. In the third period, Steve Larmer of Chicago got his 37th from Rick Vive at 11:42. Then the Kings had a two-man advantage, and Chris Contos got his third of the year, a power play goal from Duchesne and Taylor at 15:25. Then Bobby Carpenter for the Kings with his second of the night, a power play goal, 19th of the year from Lachlan and Laidlaw at 15:50. And then Ben Wilson of Chicago on the power play with his seventh from Dirk Graham at 19:14 to round out the scoring in the third period. So in the Smythe division, the playoff pairings are set. Calgary wins the division. They won tonight. They have 101 points, 4 games remaining. Edmonton will finish second. They have 92 points, 4 games left. Winnipeg will finish third. They have 72 points, 3 games left. The Kings will finish fourth, 63 points, 3 games left. And Vancouver will finish last. They have 57 points and 2 games left. Over in the North Division, Detroit has won the championship. They have 88 points, 4 left. St. Louis has clinched second place in that division.